Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pasadena City College, where today the 5-0 Lancers are looking to take on Santa Monica College, 2-2. This will be their first conference game, and this game was supposed to be played in Santa Monica, but we're playing it here today because of the unfortunate events that transpired on the Santa Monica City College campus. It's just so unfortunate to hear. There was a loss of life. There was a moment of silence before the game, and I think it just shows the strength of this football team to get this game going and for us to be playing here today.
Yeah, I mean, after suffering, as you said, a loss of life at your, the college that you go to, where it's supposed to be like a safe place, it's very unfortunate, and very resilient of this, team to just still want to play after that.
So with everything that's happened, Santa Monica here today will face off against the Lancers. They still technically are considered the home team. The Lancers will be considered the away team. They're wearing white today. And before the game, our sideline reporter Mariana Cardena had a chance to talk to head coach Robert Tucker, so take a look.
Hi, my name is Mariana Cárdenas. I am with the head coach of PCC. Thank you for talking with us. We appreciate your time. Coach Tucker, after the thrilling 21-19 win over Chaffee, what areas of the team's strategy are you focusing on today's game against Santa Monica to keep your undefeated record?
Yeah, I think, obviously I'm very proud of our guys for pulling out a win. Good opponent, had a loss for 2 years in Chaffee, and so, I was really proud of them. But I also felt like we weren't as clean as we needed to be, especially with about 2 or 3 minutes left to go in the third and the fourth. Defensively, we gave up 2 explosion plays, which we have to limit that, and that's just eyes and technique and things that we can control. And then, as far as how we finished offensively from the last part of the third to the fourth, we failed to get a first down and move the sticks. And so we made it really hard on ourselves. We got a 21-7, and we just didn't finish. So really today I'm asking, play a complete game. Play all 4 quarters. And I don't think it's not just Chaffee game. I think it's the entire season. We haven't played 4 quarters of Lancer football the way that we can play it.
Micah Mendoza had an impressive 141 rushing yards last game. How critical will his role be in keeping the offense balanced today?
Well, I think Micah's role and all the running backs, we have, JP Batista and JP, and we also have Mo Molly back there. And, I really like our running backs, but it all starts with our offensive line. I think the biggest thing is getting our offensive line to work together and keep working together and getting push up front. I think running the ball and stopping the run on defense is critical to our success. That is our number one goal. We must run the ball as a football team, and we must be able to stop the run. So those 2 things are very critical, and I think Mike has been a very explosive, great part of that, but I think it's because we have balance there too. We have depth on the offensive line, and we have depth at running back, which really helps us out.
So Santa Monica set to receive here to start off this game. That means the Lancers will get the ball in the second half. Coming into this game, Santa Monica 6th least total offensive yards in the CCC AA. They did miss that game against Compton, though. That has been postponed to November 23rd. This one brought in and dropped at the goal line, able to corral it back in. And he'll fumble this one. Interesting to see who lands on top of this one. I think the Lancers have possession.
Signal is in favor of the Lancers. A muffed kickoff and then a fumble on top of it. And what a start for the Lancers.
Yeah, and this is the team that has had some fumble issues. I mean, on all sides of the ball, really. I mean, defense, they've forced only 1 fumble, but they've recovered 5 fumbles. Also on offense, they have a bit of fumbles as well. I mean, Michael Cruz, the quarterback himself, has 2. And there we see the fumble. I mean, he fumbled it a couple times on the initial catch, dropped it at the goal line, was able to pick it up, able to take it out towards the sideline to just coughed it up again.
That's so unfortunate. Try to get out of bounds. Now let's see how they respond.
So the Lancers with great starting field position. It'll be Caden Taylor to get things started here. Takes the snap. They'll keep it with the running back. up the middle. Mendoza fights for a good bit of yardage. That's good for about 8 or 9.
Yeah, good run. He ran straight up the gut, got hit about like maybe 6 or 5 yards, and was still able to keep on going through for an extra 3 to 4 yards.
Second and 1.
In the last game against Chafee 2 weeks ago, Mendoza had a lot of rushing yards, 141 to be exact. No touchdowns, but I mean a heck of a lot of yards. Taylor motions Fox. He'll give it to Fox. He's got the first down, a couple more, and just shy of the end zone.
Looks like he was knocked out of bounds at around the 4-yard line. Little reverse sweep and a very good job. You know, Fox, as we've known, very fast, very agile. Played with Taylor in high school, and just a great weapon to have on any team.
Yeah, the sophomore transfer from Colorado State, like you mentioned, played at Pasadena High School along with Caden Taylor and a lot of many other players on this Pasadena squad. They'll give it to Mendoza. Looks like he'll be tackled at the 1-yard line. So that'll bring up 2nd and goal.
2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. I expect more ground and pound, as this Lancers team typically is known for trying to beat you on the ground and little screen passes as well, which can be very dangerous.
Yeah, we saw against Chafee, did a great job of getting the ball to his playmakers like Fox. This one up the middle. And that's going to be good for the Lancers. Touchdown. Mendoza fights to get it over the goal line.
Yes, great run, 1 yard. He did get met before he made it to the end zone, but still fought through. And now he has a touchdown. So great start for the Lancers, after the fumble. And now the extra point will hopefully make it 7-0. And now the Santa Monica has to try to do themselves out of a hole.
It'll be Nico Razzo trying to make this one a 7-0 ball game. He's been perfect so far on PATs, 10 for 10. Make that 11 for 11. So after the fumble on the kick return, the Lancers are quickly up here, 7-0, 13 left to go in the first quarter.
Lancers have already put pressure on Santa Monica. It's been they have to try now to just secure the football, no more fumbles, and they can do it. It's just a matter of, how long will it take for them to not fumble again and such.
That'll be Mendoza's 6th rushing touchdown of the season. And, I mean, he comes into this game with 437 yards. I mean, he's just been a machine. 109.3 yards per game coming into this one. That's 5th in the CCC AA. Maybe we'll see him rise up in those rankings after this one.
Surely we will.
The returners for Santa Monica.
The Santa Monica defense allowing 406.3 total yards allowed per game. That's quite a bit. 157.8 rushing yards allowed per game average. 248.5 through the air on average. This kick, kind of a bullet, able to corral it in. He'll break this one over the middle. Still on his feet, finally brought down just past the 25-yard line.
Dylan Beasley with the tackle right there, and I believe the reason for the bullet kick was to try to force another bobble and maybe even another fumble. So the Lancers are already trying to exploit the fumbleness, as you previously stated, the prone to fumbling, so they're trying to exploit that and maybe take some more possessions.
Also a bit of a win today here. We're used to playing, later. This team's used to playing later in the day, usually play home games at 6 today. Because of the scheduling issues, this one being played at 1. The wind slightly in favor of the Lancers, especially on that kick. But also with the bullet kick comes, they're able to corral it in faster. It gets there faster than opposed to in the air. Has a little bit more hang time. They'll keep it on the ground. That'll get brought down just past the line of scrimmage. Running back Pierce Reynoso, and he's just been getting a bulk of the load for this Santa Monica team. Comes into this game with 90 rushing attempts. Next closest guy, Drobny, he's only got 7 coming into this game.
Yeah, last week, Reynoso had 30 carries. Was he particularly productive? Unfortunately not. but he, like you said, he is getting the bulk of the carries, so I'd expect another like 20-plus carry game for Reynoso.
Yeah, last game, that was September 28th, because the game on the 5th got postponed. On the 28th of September, their last game against Santa Ana, only 30 yards net rushing. That one nearly picked off by Kaiden Bailey. The linebacker came flying over the middle.
The pass attempt by Cruz
That-
is broken up by the
It looked like
Lancers'
zone
number 4,
coverage right there,
Kaiden
and
Bailey.
it looked like that Cruz tried to fit it in. Very lucky it wasn't intercepted, because that would be another turnover, like really kind of deep into your own territory. So lucky
Brings up a
that
third
he
and
wasn't intercepted, and a good play by Kaiden Bailey just to knock it down.
Yeah, Kaiden Bailey comes into this game tied for tackles on the team as well as assists. He's got 12 tackles, 18 assists. He's been really productive in that middle linebacker spot for the Lancers. This one again on the ground, and he's going to break through the defense into the secondary. It's a foot race at the 20, and he's finally brought down. That could have been dangerous. Still was very dangerous as Santa Monica in the red zone now.
Santa Monica's Reynoso.
That was a great run from Reynoso.
Tackled by
Managed to
Dominic
just
Grant.
find the little openings, and then once he was into the
55-yard
secondary,
carry by
put on the burst of
Reynoso.
speed,
First
try to
down for Santa Monica.
outrun the defenders.
The
Unfortunately, he
Lancers,
couldn't, but a big
18.
run, maybe a little bit of momentum is now starting to turn into Santa Monica's favor.
Yeah, a big rush for Santa Monica, and they're in striking distance of the goal line now. 1st and 10 now on the Pasadena side of the field. They'll keep it on the ground, and that one's going to get disrupted behind the line of scrimmage. Any predictions for the game today? What do you think?
The carry
What do
by
you think you're going to see today?
Droppy.
Anything,
Tackles on the
stick
play.
out to you?
I think we're going to see combined total. I think we're going to
By
see
number
about
4,
40-plus
Kaiden Bailey,
rushing
number
attempts,
7, Tariq
because
Brumfield.
both of these teams like to run the ball. So if we get like 20 from Reynoso and maybe like 15 from Mendoza, that's most likely what's going to happen, 40-plus rushing attempts.
Interesting, especially when you look at the numbers. Passing yards per game, 194.8 for Santa Monica, only 76.5. So they may like to run the ball, as this one breaks out towards the sideline. They may like to run the ball, but they haven't really been doing
On the
so
lateral,
with great efficiency.
Rodney. And the tackle
Yeah,
out
that's
of bounds
the most
by
unfortunate
Kaiden
part of
Bailey.
it. You're getting a bulk of the carries, and yet you're not able to do anything with it. You know, that big run may help, right now, but let's say later in the game, he gets like 3 or 4 carries for like a yard or 2. All of a sudden, that average starts to go down, and you see the
Officially a gain
mass
of 1 at
of
the
attempts
17.
continue to pile up.
So after a gain of 1, that'll bring up 3rd and 9. Cruz takes the snap, gives it to Reynoso up the middle, and they're not going to get much.
This team is very ground and pound, even with 3rd and 9.
Reynoso
You
on the
expect
carry,
pass,
tackled
and it looked
by
like there was maybe a
Bailey.
hole there. But instead, they decided just to run the ball, not take any chances with throwing an interception. They just
They
want to
gain
get
to
points on the
10-yard
board.
line, and Santa Monica, on a 4th down, will attempt a field goal.
So they will attempt the field goal in.
The kicker is
To
number
attempt
39,
is number 39,
Junior
Espada. His longest of the season
Attempting
is
a
41. This
27-yard
only
field goal.
21 yards. And that one's good. So the score moves 7-3
kick is good.
here. Couldn't quite capitalize on that big run with a touchdown, but able to get 3 points for Santa Monica.
As long as Santa Monica is scoring points, they will attempt to just remain in this game.
The Lancers
And
7,
as you
Santa Monica 3.
the trend with the Lancers has been they have a very explosive offense, but at times they can sometimes go kind of cold. So just keep putting up points. Maybe that's how Santa Monica is going to try to stay in this game. Not try to take too many risks on 4th down. Just kick your field goal and just try to keep on putting points.
So 7-3 now as the Lancers get set to gain possession again. Interesting though, with that initial drive, it was almost as if the Lancers received possession first, and then they're also going to receive possession to start the second half. I think we're going to see overall Lancers probably going to have more time of possession in this game if I had to predict.
That's been the trend for the Lancers throughout this season.
Kick is up for Santa Monica. Mali will corral
Mohamed
this
Mali
one just behind the
on the
10-yard
return.
line. He's going to get brought down after a short gain. So Lancers within their own 20-yard line after the return.
It's a long field.
On
It's
the
about
return,
maybe
Carson
80
Cox
yards,
with
maybe
the
like
tackle.
75 yards. So still got a good bit of ways to go. But as we've seen, as we previously mentioned, time possession, the Lancers have been really good at just having time possession. So I expect this drive to take up maybe about 4 to 5 minutes. About half the time is going to be taken off the clock.
9 minutes,
start possession
40
at the
left to
18.
go here in the first quarter. Taylor takes the snap. He'll give it to the back. That's good for a medium-sized gain.
It seems like his Santa Monica team
Michael
knows
Mendoza
that
on the carry.
they're
on
that
the
the
play
Lancers
by
like
Aiden
to run the ball
Martinez.
a lot. So they're trying to stop the run,
Desmond Kendrick.
and that could cause some problems from the passing game. So they got to be able to
Correction, the
react
second tackle by
to,
number
if
88,
it's like a
Dominique
play action, they got to be able to
Morganfield.
react.
Taylor will keep it on the ground again with the running back. Able to break out to about the 30-yard line. That's going to be good for a Lancers first down.
As we said, Mendoza this season has
Carry by
really been
Mendoza.
it's really tough to take down. He's
The
taking
tackle
hits, he's breaking tackles.
by
So
Morganfield.
right now, as he's continuing to get more yards after contact,
First down for the Lancers
it's
at the 31.
as they get later into this game, as the defenses get tired, it's going to be more difficult to take them down.
First and 10 here. Lancers making good progress so far. 2 plays, already a first down. Taylor's going to throw, fires over to his tight end, and able to break towards the sideline after a good gain. That was the tight end, number
completed to
6,
number
Munoz.
Devin Munoz.
That's the first passing play of the day for the Lancers.
Tackle by number
And
43, Jacob
Muniz
Morales.
did break, or did the little comeback route, got a little bit of yards,
9-yard
trying to throw
pass.
off Santa
Second
Monica
down
and what
at
they're
the
trying to
40.
do.
It's good for 9 yards, just shy of the line to gain. Munoz, that was his 8th reception of the season. He's got 2 touchdowns so far. They'll run it with the back, Mali. He's able to break into that secondary, get the first down, and then
First
some.
down carry by number 25.
This is a
Mohamed
good run
Mali.
by Mali, able to just see the open field, get and
14-yard
the lineman
carry.
to get down the field and block for him, and overall
Tackle once
a
again
good
by
run for a good
Morganfield.
game.
First and 10 for the Lancers in Santa Monica territory at the 46.
A hot one today, about 80 degrees as we speak. This throw over to Rodriguez is going to get broken up by the defense. Look like Tyler Thomas from Santa Monica
Taylor's pass
able to
intended for
push a
number 2,
blocker
Jordan
into the
Rodriguez,
receiver.
is broken up.
They are very lucky that that
Santa
ball went
Monica is
forward
number 21.
instead of backwards. If that ball goes
Tyler
backwards and that
Thomas.
bounces off Rodriguez's hands, that is a fumble, and that is possession again for Santa Monica and around midfield that they could make use of.
Second and 10 for the Lancers.
Second and 10 now for the Lancers. Like we mentioned earlier, they like to run those sort of screen passes to guys like Rodriguez and Fox. They're quick and shifty guys. Looking to throw, fires over to Barone. He runs over a man, gets tripped up. We'll see where they mark this.
Looks like it's a little bit
Completed
short, but
pass by
another
Taylor
screen pass
to
after
number 8,
the failed
Josh Barron.
screen pass that got broken up.
And it's good for a
And
Lancers
so they run
first
to
down.
a different side. It was good blocks and a good job by Barone just to try to get more yards and eventually get the first down.
Naeem Powell, number 19 for the Corsairs.
Yeah,
on
so
the
they
tackle.
will move the change. That was a nice catch by
Lancers
Barron.
ball on the Santa Monica
Listed as a
36.
wide receiver, but he is a big body, 6'3", 225-pound sophomore out of Monrovia High School. First and 10. They'll give it to Mali. That one's good for a gain of about 1 or 2.
Yeah, again, this Santa Monica team
The
is
carry
trying
by
to
Molly. Tackles
stop
on play
the
by
run
0,
because they know
Kalani
that the Lancers,
Atwood,
if they
and
can
number
keep running the ball,
55,
they can keep
Aiden
killing time.
Martinez.
And so your greatest
Gain of 3.
worry if you're Santa Monica isn't the passing
Second
game,
and
even with all the
7
big
at the 33.
playmakers, it's the running game and the killing of the clock.
6 minutes, 30 left to go here in the first. Taylor takes the 2nd and 7, fires over to Fox, makes a man miss, and we get out of bounds. But he's got the first down.
Taylor's pass completed
job
to Flip Fox.
by
That's good for a
Fox to
Lancers first
just
down.
get the yards again. He broke, I believe that was cornerback number 7 for Santa Monica, Devin Williams.
12-yard pass play. First
He
and
broke
10
his
at the
ankles a little
21.
bit. He was able to maneuver and just get the first down.
Devin Williams has been a great defensive back for this team. 8 tackles, 3 assists. He's got 2 interceptions on the season and 5 breakups. This one up the middle with Mendoza. He's going to be about 2, maybe 1 yard shy of the first
Mendoza
down.
on the carry.
If you're looking at Santa Monica, how they're playing defense right now, it seems like they're trying to fill the box, trying to make sure that offensive line can't push them back and make holes for the running backs. Unfortunately, it's just this offensive line is so good, and this running game is so good for Pasadena that it's just really difficult to stop them.
Taylor motions the back. He wants to throw, feels a rusher, fires towards the end zone, and caught by Flip Fox, but just out of bounds. What a great adjustment to make the grab, just wasn't quite in.
Yeah, Santa Monica brought 6. They were expecting a run. They decided to pass it, and it's a good throw. Unfortunately, just a slight bit out of bounds for Fox. But now that Santa Monica sees the passing game and starting to open up, maybe now they'll get a little bit hesitant. Now another run is most likely going to happen, in my prediction.
Yeah, just a great job by Taylor to get rid of that ball, especially with the pressure. This is a Pasadena team that's only taken 2 sacks in the season so far. This one with Mendoza, able to bulldoze his way for the first down. So it should be 1st and 10 coming up.
Yeah, like we said, the passing game opens up the running game, and the running game does the same thing with the passing game. They haven't really ran play action today, which I expect as we get later on this game they will. But right now the running game is just doing really well, and even if the running game doesn't gain a lot of yards, they can have that passing game to lean back on as well.
A couple of personnel changes. Looks like Jag Richer and Maddox Mateski on for Flip Fox and I believe Greg Moore. Taylor tries to make him jump. They're going to keep it on the ground again. Mendoza makes a man miss, bulldozing his way in a pile. He's going to bring that one to about the 4-yard line.
Good run, went outside with it instead of going up the middle. Managed to make a man miss, and then all of a sudden his teammates was pushing him. Mendoza, for being like that big kind of power back, is really shifty on his feet, so that's a great run by Mendoza.
You see Maddox Mateski on the top of your screen. He's got 2 touchdowns. Those both came in the red zone. This one on the ground to Mali, and he spins into the end zone, puts his shoulder down, and puts 6 on the board for the Lancers.
Again, this running game, as we've been talking about, for the Lancers has been just really good, and it's really difficult to stop it. So now, all of a sudden, they've killed time. They killed over like pretty much 6 minutes of clock. So now that the clock is winding down, all of a sudden you could take time off the clock. If you're the Lancers, if you're Santa Monica, you have to score kind of quick, and you need to get quick stops on defense.
This will be Oslo Rigby for the PAT. There's a flag on the play, however.
Penalty on the play.
We'll see what they call here.
False start, offense, number 52, 5-yard penalty. We play the try.
So one of the big men up front jumped. And they'll try to kick this one again from a couple yards further.
Now it's just a little bit further back of a field goal or a PAT attempt. It shouldn't be that. It should be a little bit maybe easier now that there's like more room and less room to like try to jump.
We'll see this one from 25 yards. Fumbled and blown up. I believe that was Jag Richer on the hold. Sorry, no. It was Josh Soto.
After the snap.
Couldn't get the snap clean and scores 13-3 now.
Well, now with the 10-point game, and we saw this last time we hosted the game, but Chafee, how they missed an extra point that ended up coming back to bite them as they had to go for 2.
Take a look at the replay of the run. That was the Mendoza run before the touchdown. You know, M&M's, Michael Mendoza, Muhammad Mali, both of them a touchdown so far in this game. Here's the Mali touchdown for you. Able to put his shoulder down and just spin into the end zone off of that defender.
It's a good run. Both of these running backs are really good. They can take hits and they could just make something out of nothing.
Yeah, talk about the toughness. Put it on display there. It's 13-3. This one up. And fumbled in the end zone. Was ruling for a fair catch. They're going to give it to him.
The touchback.
Very lucky that he called the fair catch. And this kickoff team, the special teams for Santa Monica, seems to just be maybe a little bit jittery. You know, unfortunately, really the two of the 3 kickoffs, they've muffed the kickoff. So maybe later on in the game, maybe they'll maybe calm their nerve, make cleaner catches.
Yeah, it looked like maybe he didn't quite know where he was on the field. That ball, from our vantage point at least, looked like it was, you know, pretty well into the end zone. Could have left it for the touchback. Maybe thought there was a bit more room between him and that goal line. Michael Cruz, the quarterback for Santa Monica, 718 total passing yards on the season. He'll keep it on the ground. This one's going to get just swallowed up at about that line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1.
Reynoso tried to jump, tried to hurdle maybe over the defender. Unfortunately, just met with like a stone wall of this defensive line for the Lancers. And this Lancers defensive line has been really good. Maybe they haven't gotten the amount of sacks that, you know, you'd expect, but this defensive line is still really good. They can stop the run, they can put pressure, they can cause incompletions. This defensive line is going to be a factor today because of a team who loves to run the ball.
Yeah, if Santa Monica wants to run the ball against these Lancers, they're definitely going to run into some problems, only allowing 109.8 rushing yards per game. Cruz is going to keep it with himself, breaks towards the sideline. They'll stumble out of bounds, but not after a big gain and a first down.
The quarterback.
It's a quarterback read. He decided to read it, and the Lancers tried to jump on Reynoso instead of Cruz. Kept it. Good rush. Stepped out of bounds at around the 45. So now you're at midfield. Now you can, if you want to keep running the ball and try to keep killing time, because both of these teams do that, you can do that now. Maybe take this to the second quarter.
Yeah, and how ironic, just after we're saying if you're going to want to run the ball on this Lancers squad, it's going to be hard. They get a big rush like that. That's certainly good for their momentum. This one's going to get swallowed behind and blown up by Jakai Pulley.
And now, ironic how we were saying about the big run and the run defense, how the run defense just came through right there. Hit Reynoso in the backfield, then a Pulley therefore takes him down. If you want to run on this Lancers team, you have to try to run towards the edges. Really difficult to run up the middle, as we've seen, except for that one big rush. It's just really been kind of stonewall. They kind of have to go outside if they want to have any success with the run.
Yeah, I mean, talk about this linebacker core for Pasadena. You got Kaiden Bailey right in the middle, you know, strong, kind of sets things. And you got the 2 athletic linebackers, Pulley and Brumfield, on the edges, and we saw Pulley just come flying in there behind the line of scrimmage. Yeah,
and it looked like towards the end of the play, the Lancers trying to call a fumble. Unfortunately, he's probably down by contact for the Lancers. Good for Santa Monica. No more turnovers. But, yeah, as we were saying, this team likes to run the ball. Both teams do. It's just the difference is that the Lancers passing game is a little bit more formidable than Santa Monica's. But if Santa Monica can try to establish somewhat of a steady run, they have a chance to stick in this game.
Yeah, this is a team that has a bit of a, fumble, issues. Reynoso has 4 fumbles on the season, 2 losses. Cruz scrambling, trying to throw. And that's going to be Julius Ray taking him down.
The sacks from the D-line, they have about 5 all year. And this is now their 6th sack. They got to the speedy quarterback, and now it's going to be forcing a punt out of Santa Monica.
That's the 9th sack of the season for this Pasadena defense as a team. Julius Ray, that's his 2nd. Did fantastic last year, 2023.
Set to punt for
Had 9.5 sacks. That was 2nd in the league. And there we see just his athleticism, explosiveness, able to chase down Cruz.
Number 2, Jordan Rodriguez.
This is going to be a big defensive drive for Santa Monica. If they can stop.
Santa Monica going to take a timeout here, preparing to punt to Pasadena. And what a great way to end off the first quarter, 13 seconds left. I mean, what a big sack from Julius Ray.
Yeah, that's a big sack, making so that they can't really keep momentum and try to drive down the field and maybe score 3 to make it a 7-point game. Now instead, you're kind of forcing this defense to like dig their heels and be like, okay, we cannot allow, another touchdown. Otherwise, it's 21 or 20. It'd be 20 or 19-3, barring the extra point. And that's a 16-point deficit, which is very difficult to overcome.
Yeah, this is a Pasadena team that hasn't had a sack since September 28th against Victor Valley. They didn't pick up a sack against Chaffee. Chaffee, excellent offensive line. Pasadena able to just edge them out for the victory, 21-19. This one kicked. It was close to being maybe tipped. And we'll call for a fair catch. That was Jordan Rodriguez on the return.
Rodriguez.
Now 6 seconds. I expect the run to just finish out this first quarter. No need to go big right now. Just take your yards and go into the next quarter with maybe a second and maybe 6 or something like that.
Yeah, so far quiet, through the air. They've really been getting it done on the ground. Take a look at their last game against Chaffee. Caden Taylor, 173 passing yards. He had 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. Also had that interception, but did a really great job of bouncing back from that and closing out that game for the Lancers against Chaffee. First and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Mascalino in. This one's going to be good, close to that first down marker. That's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. The score 13 Pasadena, 3 Santa Monica.
So far this half, not even this half, this quarter, you kind of see what both teams are trying to do. Both teams love to run the ball, as we said multiple times. So it's going to be a very run-heavy game. I know my prediction, I said 40-plus rushing attempts. Then honestly, maybe closer to 50.
And for my prediction, I think we're going to see a lot more sacks. And we'll be right back after this message. So we are back, about to start the second half of play. 13-3 your score here. Pasadena up early. Quarterback in now, Mascalino for Taylor. Takes the snap. They'll keep it on the ground. This one just going to get swallowed up, but not after the gain of a first down.
Micah Mendoza on the carry, a first down for the Lancers.
This Lancers team right now is just trying to run the ball so they can switch their quarterbacks, because right now they don't really see a reason why they should throw the ball as much as maybe they did against like Chafee
New set of
or other
downs at the
teams.
30.
So right now, just you can switch quarterbacks, and it really has no effect on what the Santa Monica's going to do. They're still going to try to stuff the running backs.
Mascalino on the season has 7 passing touchdowns. He's got 1 rushing, and he'll keep it himself right here. Able to break towards the sideline. He's heading down the sideline. Got a man to beat. He gets pushed out of bounds. What a run by Mascalino.
It's a read option that Cruz ran against the Lancers. He went to the other side instead of the side that Cruz went to. Knocked out of bounds by Logan Polk, number 4, safety for Santa Monica. Good run. Gets them into around the red zone. Just like how that big run by Reynoso did for Santa Monica. So big runs that are happening. So right now, if they can score points, that'll be a net positive for the Lancers.
Lancers now on the 35-yard line of Santa Monica. Mascalino stands in the pocket, rolling out to his right. He's going to fire. And there's going to be a flag on the play. That one was intended for Jordan Rodriguez.
Penalty on the play.
It looked like he slightly maybe threw behind it, but also like there's maybe a little bit of pushing from Santa Monica. We'll see what the penalty is. I'd assume pass interference.
As we wait the call.
Pass interference. Defense, number 33. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So 15-yard penalty, automatic first down for the Lancers. And they're just making excellent field progression here.
They have the penalty on Carson Cox. Unfortunate because it did look like an incompletion, and that would have stopped the clock and maybe would have given Santa Monica some momentum. But now, all of a sudden, you have to now bear down when now that the 20, they're in the red zone.
Mascalino's thrown for 404 yards so far on the season. This one they'll keep with Mali. That one good for a sizable
Carry
game.
by Mohamed Mali.
Again, this running game for the Lancers, we're going to keep saying it all day. It's just so good. It's an element that they can just use over and over and over again. Just essentially, they're bullying the other team.
2nd and 5 here. Lancers within the red zone. They have a 90% red zone percentage. So pretty good chance that they're coming away with some sort of points here. There's a flag on the play. Heard some chatters about maybe a false start.
It's more laundry.
Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remain second down.
So Jericho Martinez, the center, called for a false start. So after the penalty that helps the Lancers, we get one that kind of
helps Santa Monica indeed.
Yeah.
So now it's 1st and 15, and now it's just a little bit more tougher to get the first down because now, a 3-yard, 3, 4, even 5-yard rush just puts you down at 2nd and 10.
2nd down here. Mascalino looking to throw here, steps up in the pocket. Here's a duck in the air. And just kind of out of the sight line of Greg Moore.
That looks like the pocket got kind of blown up, and Mascalino just tried to get it. It looked like it was like tipped in the air, or maybe it was a duck. And very fortunate that that was not picked off, as there is more laundry on the play. This is the 3rd consecutive play that's been a flag.
Roughing the passer. Defense, 0. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
So roughing the passer on Kalani Atwood, the sophomore from Hawaii. So the Lancers going to gain a first down here.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. You had the incompletion, and then unfortunately you roughed the passer. You put too much body weight on it. You hit him way after the throw. So now
1st and goal.
It's 1st and goal. 1st and goal at the 9. Let's see how Santa Monica will respond.
Yeah, tough call on Atwood. Leads Santa Monica in sacks. He's got 3. Also has a fumble recovery, 7 tackles, 2 assists. They'll keep it on the ground with Mali. And he's going to get swallowed up here. Now bring up 2nd down here, 2nd and goal.
Again, these running backs just fighting for yards.
The carry
And
by
Santa
Mohamed
Monica's
Mali
defense, being
tackles
out
on
there,
the play.
especially now in the heat, because
Logan
usually
Pope.
when Pasadena plays, as you said
Make that
earlier,
Dominique
they play at
Porterfield.
night about 6 o'clock when the sun's starting to set and it gets cooler. But now it's it's really hot. The sun's like directly
Gain of
pretty
6
much
on
down
the
the
carry.
field, and
Second and goal
defense
from
will
the
get
3.
tired and hot, and all of a sudden the running game becomes much more exploited.
Yeah, thankfully a good amount of wind here. I'm sure if they played at Santa Monica, there also probably would have been a nice sea breeze over there. Trying to punch it in. And it looks like they will, so the Lancers able to put 6 more points on the board.
The running game, what can we say? So far in the first 2 quarters, it's just been run, run, run. Not a lot of passing,
Play, a 3-yard touchdown run.
as we saw with
Number
the
25,
duck and
Mohamed
the screens.
Mali.
It's just really been just passing, or not passing, but running.
That's Mo Mali's
Attempting the
second
extra point
touchdown
number
of
one,
the
Oslo
game.
Rigby.
So far, all these touchdowns coming on the ground. 1 from Mendoza, 2 from Mali. Score 19-3, trying to make it 20. Kick is good, so the
Kick is
score
good, but a penalty on the
20-3
play.
now here in Pasadena. Any other takeaways so far from this game? What are you seeing? Maybe what do you want to see a little bit more?
I want to see the Lancers defense, even though they have been really good, they have had a little bit of cracks, which grant they haven't played in about 2 weeks. They haven't played since October 5th at the Chafee game. So maybe just a little bit more tight on the defense. As for Santa Monica, that offense and the offense can make work so far with what they're doing, but that defense
PAT is good.
needs to
Personal foul.
tighten up.
Defense leaping over the offensive line. 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
The scoring
So
play
they'll
once again, a 3-yard touchdown
Put the penalty
run
on the
by
kickoff here.
Mohamed Mali. The extra point try by number 1, Oslo Rigby, is good. And
Wow.
with 11:36
Taking a look at this
remaining
one more
in the
time,
second
the
quarter,
touchdown
score.
run from
The Lancers
Mali.
20, Santa Monica 3.
And on both of these touchdown runs, we've just seen the toughness that he brings, especially in the red zone, able to just barrel through defenders. We saw earlier on the other side of the field, made a heck of a play, put his shoulder down and kind of just rolled over that defender this time, really just barreling through.
Yeah, now with this kickoff, the 15 yards for leaping over the defender, all of a sudden you can kind of like sky kick it, kind of like shorter. So now that all of your return man, the entire return team can sort of swarm the returner.
Rigby will be kicking off. from
11
midfield
minutes,
following the
36
penalty.
seconds here remain in the first half. Lancers will be kicking from about midfield, actually. Their ball is placed right on the 50-yard line. Kick is up. This one heading for the parking lot almost. That one bounces back
And it's a
by the
touchback
field goal.
on Rigby's kickoff.
So it'll be a touchback.
This is a kind of an important drive for Santa Monica. They need to put points on the board, at least 3. Preferably you put 7 on the board, so it's all of a sudden 10-20. And if you get another stop and just put more points on the board, it could be a 1-score game.
Yeah, this was definitely going to be a touch matchup, from the get-go. Lancers first in the American Pacific Division. Santa Monica ranked 5th in that division. That's out of 6 teams. And Pasadena City College also ranked number 23 in California according to the Triple C
Corsairs start
SIA
possession
poll.
at the 25.
This one, a run up the middle. Not going to gain much yardage there.
The front 7 of this
The carry by
Lancers
Pierce Reynoso. And the
defense
tackle
is
by
just
Sakai
so
Pulley.
good. Of course, you have the linebackers, you have Brunfield, Bailey,
Gain of 1,
Pulley.
second and 9
You have the
at the
defensive
26.
line with Duncan, Rab, Ray, and Mitchell. It's just very difficult to get anything going. That's why the Lancers, they don't really blitz that much. They can just send 4 and they know they'll get to the quarterback.
Yeah, definitely expecting to see some more sacks here from a hungry defensive line that didn't get any against that Chafee offensive line. Scrambling here, making a couple men miss. And Cruz is going to take this one just shy of the line to gain.
Good job by Cruz just to, one, avoid the sack, which is very difficult. He could have, like, thrown the ball away. Instead, he tries to make something out of nothing, and he gets positive yardage. He gets about 8 yards. So good on this team. And I want to point back to the front four, the front seven of the defense. On the inverse side, since the offensive line of Pasadena is so good, it means that teams have to blitz more often to try to get home to the quarterback.
Maybe expect to see a run here. Cruz will hand it to Reynoso. This one up the middle. That's going to be good for the first down. Cruz himself has, this team's kind of had a little bit of an interceptions problem. Cruz, 6 interceptions on the season, almost as much as his touchdown total with 7. It's been a little bit of a problem for the Corsairs.
Yeah, and last week I believe Cruz did have 3 interceptions. So that's about half his total right there in a brutal game last week.
Yeah, you look at the stats. He had 234 yards, 3 touchdowns. Looks great. Then you notice the 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles, one of those lost. So the turnovers have been a bit of an issue. This one through the air. Receiver tripped up.
That's Sean Greer. He's saying that he, instead of maybe tripped, he was pushed down.
Cruz's pass intended
but
for number 9, Sean
no flag.
Greer, is incomplete.
So now it's a 2nd down. I'd assume you try to stick with your game plan of just keep on trying to bulldoze through, keep on running no matter what.
Yeah, it's been quiet for all of these Corsairs receivers. Sean Greer, among the best of them, 18 receptions, leads the team, 3 receiving touchdowns, 260 total yards on the season. Chase has to throw and nearly picked off. There was 2 defenders in the area of that one. Looks like Idric Carmichael is probably the closest.
Yeah, very scary throw. It looked like he was maybe going to get it to Greer, but Carmichael made a great diving effort, as is a replay of it.
Yeah, Cruz on the run, pretty dangerous throw.
Brings up a 3rd down for Santa Monica.
Into double coverage. I believe it was also Dalen Beasley on the defensive side of things along with Carmichael. Cruz, he'll hand it off up the middle. That's good for a gain. About 10, maybe 9. Looks like they got the first down. They're moving the chains.
Reynoso, so far right now, has having, I would say, a better game than he did last week. 30 touches, and, he didn't really have that great of an average. But right now, with the big run, but he's still getting at least a couple yards right there. It was about 10 yards. So a bit of a better average game for Reynoso.
This one through the air. That one dropped. That was intended for Greer. A little bit of pushing and shoving after the play, but nothing too major.
Little quick throw, unfortunately dropped, and then the subsequent sort of like suplex the receiver to the ground.
So that'll bring up 2nd and 10.
That's where Grandma forgot she already had it brand on when she was talking about when she was telling
Cruz takes a snap a bit high. This one on the ground. Reynoso going to get swallowed up by that defensive front. Looked like Brumfield at the front of it.
Yeah, I think if they actually had given it to Greer, I think he could have made more yards happen, because there was only maybe 2 guys. There was Lewis, and then there was the wide receiver blocking the corner. So they maybe could have had something right there, instead they decided to hand it off for about a gain of like 1 or 2 yards.
At the Lancers 49.
At the 49-yard line, just a yard past midfield here. This one, I think he dropped that. We'll see what they rule this. Thought I saw the ball come out, bounce off the ground.
It looks like it will be an incompletion. And now another punt for Santa Monica.
That one again intended for Greer. You got to assume maybe Cruz trying to force the ball to his guy.
Now punting for the Corsairs.
Maybe, get him some touches early on, at least before the second half.
Yeah, the problem with that is if you try to target one guy, all of a sudden
Set to return
there's
for
a
the
corner and a
Lancers.
safety on him, which makes
Jordan Rodriguez.
getting him the ball 10 times more difficult.
Also saw the defensive lineman is that punt. The ball was on the ground off of the snap. This one over the head of Rodriguez. He'll let it bounce into the end zone. Also saw Izzy Duncan on that play. The defensive lineman drop back into coverage.
A little bit of a shock, send 3, have the one defensive lineman try
49-yard
to
punt. No
drop
return
back, and maybe
by Caldera.
if it was like a quick slant, maybe Duncan could have picked him off.
So the Lancers going to take control at the 20-yard line. Score 20-3 here, 8 minutes left to go here before halftime. There will be no band performance here just because of the late arrangements made, but we do have
Start possession
an
at the
interview
25.
conducted by our own Iris Wing. She was able to talk to head coach Kelly Ledwith before the game about the recent events that have transpired with Santa Monica College. So that'll be an interesting thing to watch, so stay tuned at halftime for that.
And correctly, after the punt touchback, the ball will be marked at the 20.
A little bit
On
of
kickoff.
an incorrect mark there, I suppose. They move it back to the 20-yard line. Look like they maybe had it towards the 25.
Yep, looks like it.
It's Mascalino still in the game. He'll give this to Fox. Fox making something out of it up the middle. He's at the 50-yard line, has no one out in front of him, has a defender pursuing him, and he'll take this into the end zone. A first play touchdown on the drive for Flip Fox.
Little end around action, and Fox got it. He read the field perfectly. He saw what was in front of him, made some cuts, and really the blocking was really great on that play. There was really nothing Santa Monica could have done unless they knew it was coming and tried to throw everyone at the possible.
Taking a look at this one more time, Flip Fox just such a playmaker, so shifty. We've seen it countless amounts of times, and there you go. There you have it. Another touchdown for Flip Fox. I mean, boy, what an addition has he been for this team. That one up. That one's going to be no good. Able to
And the
just
kick is no
bent
good.
around that
The scoring
far-sided
play once again, an
pole.
80-yard touchdown run.
Score
Number one,
26-3 here in
Fox.
Pasadena after the
And with
Flip
7:56
Fox first play
remaining in
touchdown.
the second quarter. It's the Lancers
Down by
26,
23. That's
Santa
3
Monica,
scores.
3.
If you're Santa Monica, you need to get something on the board, make it 26-10, and then you have to try to stop them on defense. But the good thing for Santa Monica about that really quick score is that there's time on the clock now, because the Lancers are really good, especially at killing time. They killed, I believe it was 6 minutes on one of the drives. So with 8 minutes in the quarter, killing 6 of that in a 2-minute drill.
7 minutes 56 here. I believe the Lancers started that drive 8 minutes 11 seconds. So quick one play in and out.
Set to kick off. Number 1, Oslo Rigby.
Oslo Rigby gonna kick things off here to the Corsairs.
Set to return. Number 3, Darren Tenner. Number 1.
And for this
Maurice
Lancers team, you
Ferreira.
kind of feel like maybe the worst is past. I think the biggest challenge that they would have had on this line, on this schedule, would have been Chaffey, and they ended up beating them. That was on the 5th of this month. So it kind of feels like the rest of the season might be kind of on a downhill, not in a bad way,
Yeah.
but kind of coasting through, just letting that momentum take them in to the postseason.
Yep, Chaffey was their golden goose, and they did catch it. They did beat Chaffey in a thrilling game. They had the 3 really big plays. You had the missed 2-point conversion, the blocked extra point, and Brumfield stop on a 4th and 2 that would have potentially gave
On the kickoff,
field goal positioning for
Santa
Chaffey.
Monica takes possession at the 25.
Santa Monica at the 25 here. Like you mentioned, probably, that Chaffey team's so good, probably going to end up seeing them in a bowl game at the end of the season. I'm interested in seeing where this team ends up ranked in the CCC SIA polls at the end of the season. Currently at 23, And if I'm being honest, I don't see them losing another game for the rest of the season, especially after beating Chafee.
Yeah, that's the thing. This team will move up in rankings. And this team is very, very formidable. It is a team that you do not want to face right now. Even if you're hot, you do not want to face this ice-cold stone wall of a team.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do just with the sheer amount of sophomores on this team. So many returning guys. Caden Taylor, right, sophomore, was on the team last year behind Kakahi Graham. This one up in the air. There's going to be a flag on the play. I think it was PI against the Lancers, Elijah Lewis.
Yeah, a little bit too much pushing and shoving against Greer. You see they're trying. Cruz, like you said earlier, Cruz is trying to just give the ball to his playmaker, Greer, but unfortunately, double team. I'd expect that. You have the one safety playing on top. You have the corner playing underneath him.
Defense number 12, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So it will be a PI call on Lewis. And yeah, like you mentioned, he's probably just trying to get the ball to his playmakers before the end of the half, especially Greer. I think it was Tom Brady who said every game he tried to get each of his receivers the ball at least once, especially his top receivers, at least before the first half. You don't want your guys going into the locker room, coming out, starting the second half without even touching the ball. This one, Cruz just kind of slipped out of his hands. That one kind of just lost him.
Like you were saying earlier, this Santa Monica team is prone to fumbling, to turning the ball over, to muffing, kicks and just like even the snaps. Hopefully we can maybe get a replay of it, but it looked like that ball again just slipped out of his hands. Lucky he was able to recover his own fumble. As you should see a replay of it.
Yeah, we'll take a look at this one more time. Just whoop, right out of the hands, and that's definitely unfortunate. Not going to do good for this momentum. Going to throw again. This one complete over the middle, taking it backwards. And he's going to get brought down.
Maurice Herrera. Wow, that could have been a good bit of yardage to get back. Instead, Herrera just go backwards, try to make something out of nothing. It gets blindsided.
Yeah, that was a good tackle by Okalola from Pasadena, able to stick with that play. He was back behind the line of scrimmage originally, made his way back towards the ball as Herrera kind of made his way backwards towards the line of scrimmage, trying to evade tackles, just happened to run into him. Cruz motions Herrera, bootleg, throwing, and nearly picked off by the Lancers, in and out of the hands of the defender.
Cruz's pass intended for
Looked like number 24, Isaiah Blades, almost came down with a spectacular pick. And, man.
Brings up a fourth down.
Here's a replay of it.
Jordan Rodriguez back on the punt return.
Yeah, just in and out of the hands.
Punting for the
And I mean, there is the cliche, defenders don't play receiver because they can't catch, so they put him at DB. I don't think that's true. I believe, honestly, playing DB is probably harder than playing receiver, but just couldn't come up with that one.
Another flag on the play.
So a flag on the punt. We'll see what they call here.
Offense number 10, 5-yard penalty.
So 5 yards added to that one. They're going to punt off again here.
That is the 7th penalty of the game. 7th accepted.
4 on Santa Monica, 3 on Pasadena. Santa Monica came into this game 33 total penalties. Pasadena came in only 24. That's second least in the CCCAA. The punt is up. Jordan Rodriguez backtracking, able to make the catch at the 10-yard line and brought down at the 10-yard line by 2 Corsairs.
Great job getting the punt off, and honestly, a bomb of a punt. That ball kept on going and going. Rodriguez had to keep going back and back. Caught it. Thankfully, he didn't slip and fall because it looked like he was going to do that. But corrals the punt, tries to make something. Unfortunately, gets very little yardage, but at least it wasn't a turnover.
You know, I think maybe being a receiver, we've seen him make so many of those return catches, kind of over the shoulder, backtracking. You know, maybe it just feels more comfortable to him to catch the ball over his shoulder, you know, coming as a receiver.
Caden Taylor back at quarterback for the Lancers.
Taylor back in the game. Finally gets the snap. This one up the middle with Mendoza. And he'll keep pushing. Maybe got the line to gain. We'll see where they mark this. Definitely going to be close.
Michael Mendoza on the
Like we've been saying, this running game, you know, Mendoza, you have Mali, and then on the other side, Reynoso. These running backs can make things happen. Reynoso had the big run. You've seen Micah and you've seen Muhammad just makes, like, bulldoze through, put their shoulder down, like kind of like old school football.
So it was good for the first down. 1st and 10 here. Taylor fakes the motion. Tosses over to his big tight end. This one good for the first down.
I believe that was
Josh Barron. Called him a tight end. I mean, you know, it's on the edge, listed as a wide receiver, but just so, you know, so big, so strong. Really use him like a tight end.
Yeah. Wide receiver or tight end playing like a wide receiver. We've said it before. Tight ends are a quarterback's best friend. So just those big bodies who just secure catch a lot of the balls.
Taylor maybe trying to make a Corsair jump off sides. Looks back to his sideline. Mendoza the lone back. Here's the snap, and there's a flag on the play. Maybe a delay of game call here.
Timeout. Pasadena.
Pasadena going to take a timeout. Looks like a little bit of confusion between Taylor and the sideline. Couldn't quite get the snap off, maybe
A reminder, the next
as fast as they wanted to.
Yeah,
Yeah, it also looked like the offensive line, and Taylor saw it. It looked like, from up here at least, it looked like the Corsairs did jump. It looked like they thought that Taylor's going to snap it, and they jumped a little. So maybe that also threw him off. So, but now they get the timeout. They get the timeout off before the delay game, which is good.
Do you know what a Corsair is, Oscar?
I do not know what a Corsair is.
I'm being told it's a coastal sort of pirate.
That makes sense. You know,
Makes sense. Santa Monica along the coast.
Yeah, Santa Monica Pier.
Also, their logo, a pirate. So, kind of easy to piece 2 and 2 together. But officially, we know now Corsair is a pirate. 1st and 10. Taylor looks like he's gonna keep it himself. Takes it towards the sideline, reaching. Might have gotten that first down with the reach. We'll see where they mark this.
That play looked like he was gonna go kind of like a little bit of a disaster. It looked like he maybe was stuck trying to take the ball back. Mendoza looked like he almost had it. Here's a replay of it.
Yeah, kind of decided to pull that ball just, you know, towards the end of the normal timing that you would on a read play. Ends up working out for them. 2nd down here, got about 4 to go. Looking to throw, rolling out to his right. Met by pressure, that one up and nearly picked off.
Very, very lucky. Taylor at the end of that play did get kind of clobbered and just tried to throw something up and almost intercepted, just dropped. I believe that was one of the linebackers for the Corsairs. So very lucky that it wasn't interception. And at the same time, he did get clobbered. So it would have just been a double whammy if, you know, gets clobbered and throws an interception.
Yeah, Taylor, only 1 interception on the season so far. That came in the last game against Chafee. That one nearly would have been his 2nd. The motion over TJ Daly. Looking his way, he'll fire. That one's complete to Daly, his 2nd reception of the season. Another returning player.
Taylor's pass completed to number 5, TJ Daly.
Looks like just another rollout. They've been kind of doing that. And just great
Brings up a fourth
great
down
throw
for the
on the
Lancers.
run from Taylor.
And set the punt, number 1.
Not quite enough for the first down, though. And so they'll be forced
Turning for
to
the Corsairs,
punt. That was
number 1, Maurice
Taylor's
Herrera.
first drive coming back for Mascalino.
Santa Monica.
Santa Monica going to take a timeout here.
Santa Monica taking time out, trying to stop the clock, make sure that Lancers don't just milk the clock, drain it, and all of a sudden you have like less than 3 minutes to try to score. So a timeout before the 2-minute timeout, and they're going to try to make something happen with this drive. They have 1 timeout remaining. So you have that and the 2-minute timeout. You have 2 timeouts essentially, and maybe about 3 minutes to just put points up on the board.
3 minutes, 9 seconds remain here. The score 26-3, Pasadena up so far in this early one. Not used to it being so hot on game days.
Yeah, especially like you said earlier, 6 o'clock, that's when usually Pasadena plays home games. So now it's a little bit different, but they're still firing essentially on all cylinders.
Punt is up. This one will take a bounce. Brought in past the 20-yard line, makes a man miss, but ultimately brought down on the shoestring tackle.
That ball took a Lancer bounce. If that ball somehow bounces somewhat backwards, all of a sudden Santa Monica, instead of getting the ball around 20, might have gotten around the 30. So very lucky the bounce went the Lancers' way.
2 minutes, 59 seconds here.
By Rigby.
Corsairs going
return
to
by
take
Herrera.
control here just shy of the 30-yard line.
Kaiden Bailey. And the Corsairs start possession at the 29.
This is a kind of a big possession in terms of momentum. The Corsairs just need points. They haven't scored since their second drive of the game, technically the first real drive because of the muff kickoff and the fumble.
Cruz looks like he was maybe trying to make the defense jump off sides. Cruz takes the snap, holds it himself, and he's going to get brought down. No gain on the play there.
Looks like Julius Ray.
Looks like a couple of different guys on that play. Really just got swallowed up.
Who's on the keeper?
Lancers defensive line is really good. I believe that is they have 9 sacks and now it's 10. They finally reached double digits.
Number 94,
So,
Julius Ray.
as this game's going to start to go on, like you predicted, you expected more sacks. I think we're going to get them, especially in the second half.
Yeah, and the sacks have really been spread out through this team. I mean, the leader in sacks on this team, Suliafu, only 1.5 sacks, and he leads the team. So no gain here. That one disrupted close to the sideline by the Lancers.
It was the backup running back, put that in quotation marks, Tauntaun Drobny, and as you said before, Reynoso gets a bulk of the carries, and now that's a 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, so we've reached the 2-minute timeout, 2-minute warning, whatever you want to call it. Lancers currently up 26-3. Corsairs just looking to put some points on the board before halftime, give themselves some sort of boost in momentum.
Yeah, this game has really gone all Lancers, and right now it just seems like that Santa Monica is just trying to get something going, but right now they're just being suffocated by it's kind of like a stone wall. It's like, how do you break the stone wall? You have to just keep going, pounding through it, but it seems like the further you try to pound through this Lancers team, all of a sudden it's like there's just more behind there. There's more guys ready to come in and fill the void.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the game plan of the Corsairs, this is a team that, likes to throw the ball in previous games, right? They're a team that averages more passing yards than rushing yards. I mean, quite a deal more of passing yards, 194.8 on average coming into this game, compared to only 76.5 average rushing yards per game. And they've been rushing the ball so many times, and here you see another rushing play. Able to bounce that one out, but not enough for the first down, it appears. There's a flag on the play. And while we await the call, like I was talking about, this team
Penalty on
likes
the
to
play.
pass the ball, but we've seen them just run the ball, change their game plan because of how formidable this Pasadena City College defense is.
Especially that secondary. That's what kind
After the
of.
play, personal foul. Defense number 24. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So Isaiah Blades, a personal foul after the play. And what would have brought up
8-yard
fourth
carry
down
by
and a
Rodney.
pretty
15-yard
sizable
penalty on first down.
need of
Santa Monica
yardage.
with the ball
It's now
at
first down
midfield.
for the Corsairs.
Yeah, now that's the 8th penalty of just the first half. Both teams are kind of becoming a little bit, I don't want to say undisciplined, but in terms of the last game they played, a little bit undisciplined.
That one just low and out of reach of Greer.
Try to do a little
Bruce's
quick
pass
throw,
attempter,
little
Sean
low, and just
broken up.
defense of this Lancers team is just
By
really,
Kai Pulley.
really good.
Yeah, something that head coach Tucker really likes to emphasize at practice. CTC, control the controllables. Stick with what you got to do and trust the guys around you to do what they're going to do. And I feel like that really helps them minimize penalties. But today they've just been taking a lot, and there's a big disruption by Tariq Brumfield
The
behind the
carry by
line of
Drobny,
scrimmage.
And the tackle by
Yeah.
number 7, Tariq
It looked like
Brumfield.
Drobny again trying to just make something happen, and unfortunately just swallowed in that backfield.
A loss of 5.
What a great job by
on the play.
the two outside linebackers, Pulley and Brumfield, just so athletic. Like I was mentioning earlier, you got Kaiden Bailey, right? Kind of, that center, strong-headed middle linebacker, bulldozer. Then you got the two faster, quicker guys that they kind of like to play down towards the line of scrimmage sometimes with Brumfield and Pulley, and they did a great job there.
Yeah, that linebacking core of Bailey, Brumfield, and Pulley is they're so good. They're so good at stopping the run, and they're so good at in coverage.
We saw earlier, Kaiden Bailey almost had that pick. I believe it might have been the first, maybe second play of the game.
Yeah, so just having the linebacking core that can just be very good at just two things that most linebackers kind of struggle with. They either do good at one thing and struggle with the other thing, but just having 3 linebackers who can do both is very
Brings
good.
up a third down.
So that'll bring up third down for the Corsairs, and they've got quite a bit to go. 3rd and 15. This one on the ground, and that's going to get blown up by that defensive line. Looked like Izzy Duncan,
Pierce Reynoso.
Julius
Tackled
Ray
by Julius
at the
Ray.
front of the tackling.
Yeah, now
Timeout.
Pasadena takes a timeout, maybe try to preserve some time to just maybe not get this ball back, and maybe now they can put up some points.
A minute 17 left here. Lancers leading 26-3.
Please reset the clock. Reset the clock to 120.
Going to reset the clock to 1 minute 20 seconds, so they'll add 3 seconds here. And so they'll punt. Probably expect Pasadena, run the ball, let the clock go out, take this one to halftime.
Yeah, even knee the ball because they have such a big lead. Why risk anyone getting injured? Just knee the ball maybe a couple times. Let the clock just wind down, and then just go in a half. Everyone's kind of rested, or maybe they can even try to run the ball even more if they get a really good punt return here. You never know.
Corsairs punt is up. That one will get returned by Rodriguez. He's going to take it up the middle, still on his feet, and brought down at the 30-yard line. Pretty good gain. Looked like about 20 yards past where he initially corralled the ball in.
And now you're at 30. If you have a really big run, if it seems like Molly's going out there, give Mendoza a bit of a break. But if Molly gets a big run here, they get into field goal territory. They kick another field goal. It'll be 29-3. And this lead will just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger for the Lancers.
So of the 4 touchdowns today so far for the Lancers, all of them have come on the ground. One a reverse to Fox, the other 3 on the ground with the running backs, 1 with Mendoza, 2 with Mali. It looks like they're going to throw here. That one just out of reach for the intended receiver, Deshaun Phillips.
Taylor's
Also,
pass.
we noticed earlier in this
Number
week,
11.
got in some practice with the
Phillips
running
is
backs.
incomplete.
Yeah, having a receiver, he being a running back, if he's a big body, he can maybe run through people. It also gives you options to like motion him out of the backfield, be kind of like a receiving back.
Like kind of what we saw with Fox today. He's had a couple of plays in that nature. This one over to Fox. Maybe brought down, looked like a gain of about 5 on that pass.
Yeah, I'm surprised with throwing the ball. You would expect this Lancers team to just run the ball, just run the clock out, just to be kind of conservative and just play it really safe.
3rd and 7 from the 33.
Clock still counting down here. 40 seconds left to go. Looking at a 3rd and 7. 16 on the play clock. Taylor takes the ball. They're going to run it. This one able to bounce out towards the sideline. That's Mendoza. Stiff arms a man and taken down at the 40. What a great stiff arm from Mali.
Great run. This will most likely take us into half as to see a replay of it.
Tackled by Carson Cox.
You see the stiff arm able to just shove a defender down into the ground. I believe that was Logan Polk. And, he's not too shabby of a defender for Santa Monica. Logan Polk comes into this game leading the team in tackles with 10. He's got 8 assists, 2 interceptions, and a breakup. Polk at a St. John Bosco High School, a sophomore for the Corsairs.
Please put 5 seconds on the clock. 5 seconds on the clock. Whoa.
Looks like the clock ran out. They're going to add 5 seconds.
Heard some chirping. That's why the referee went, whoa, whoa, whoa. Just trying to
Think the Lancers are maybe trying to get the play off before the clock was reset.
Yeah, I don't understand why you would, try to throw and maybe like go deep, because there has been instances where you try to throw maybe a Hail Mary and it gets picked off and returned for 6 points, or a running back just fumbles. So I would have just taken it into half, and it looks like
they will do that. Initially wanted to put some time on the clock, but guess they're just gonna call it where it is. Probably would have just ran the ball anyways to get this half over. Coach Tucker visibly angry with these officials, maybe just confused as to what was going on there with the clock.
I mean, I don't understand why you would even want to just take a timeout. I mean, to try to.
Santa Monica, please put 3 seconds on the clock.
So it was a timeout. Initially, we thought maybe they were, in agreement, just gonna let the clock run out. Only believe they would put, they said 3-5 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
You gotta expect Pasadena to just run the ball anyways.
Yeah, I do not know what head coach Tucker is gonna do with these 3 seconds. Most likely a run, like you say, but
I think he was maybe just, confused as to what the referees were kind of doing. First down, you could see the Corsairs playing their defense super far back, just in that off chance that they try to maybe throw a long pass, but they won't need to. They'll take a knee, and that's the end of the first half. Score 26-3. Lancers up here early, and they're going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very tough uphill battle for Santa Monica.
Any takeaways from that first half? Anything that really stood out to you? Maybe stuff you want to see in the second half?
I think so far what stood out to me was the defense. I believe that Santa Monica has only been past the 50. I believe it's 2 or 3 times, which is really great for this defense just to step up and just really just not allow this team to breathe. And the offense, the running game has been great. You don't really need to pass, but I would like to see a little bit more passes, maybe some even trick plays, because you need your receivers to because if you're going out there and blocking the entire game, or running routes just to run the ball, it kind of gets to you mentally. So maybe just a couple passes to maybe Rodriguez or Phillips, maybe even another one of Fox. Just more receptions to maybe make those receivers feel like they're actually part of this game plan instead of just run the ball.
Yeah, they have, done a pretty good job of getting the ball to their playmakers. We saw, with Fox, we saw, I believe it maybe was one, target toward Rodriguez. But, yeah, totally. I think they could always try to get their ball to their playmakers more. And what about for Santa Monica? Is there anything you think that maybe they need to improve on, go into the locker, talk about, come out, and maybe try to apply in this game?
Yeah, they need to talk about how they're going to stop the running game of the Lancers, because so far the passing game, they have kind of done enough. Even though it hasn't been a lot of passes thrown, they have kind of stopped them and tried to neutralize them. It's just the running game. It's just what's the ground and pound is what's just pushing them and killing the clock. So what Santa Monica needs to do is they need to go in the locker room and figure out how they're going to stop the running game. As for on offense, they just need to figure out how to move the ball more efficiently and more, I guess, just more substantially.
Yeah, I think it's super interesting to see just the approach that Santa Monica has taken, right? This is a team that, before this game and all the games that they've played, they really like to, pass the ball. They've been more efficient passing the ball, right? They're not really that run-first team, although they did have a lot of touches, especially to Reynoso. Coming in this game, he had 90. But they have been more efficient with the pass, and we just haven't really seen that in this game. And I think it's just a testament to the great defense that Pasadena plays, especially in that secondary with guys like, Carmichael, Blades, Lewis. Up top you got Eli Moulton, and they've just been doing a great job of containing those guys.
Yeah, it's really hard to make throws and make passes when you have essentially the no-fly zone out there. So maybe a little bit of trickery. We saw before the game that they were trying to run some trick plays, so maybe those will come out.
Yeah, and before the game, in our own Iris Wing, had a chance to talk to head coach of Santa Monica, head coach Kelly Ledwith, about the events that have transpired in the Santa Monica City, community with the college and with this football team. And he had very, impactful answers, so take a look.
It's Iris Swing, and I'm here with Santa Monica head coach Kelly Ledwith. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for being here with us and talking to us. I know the past few weeks have been really difficult for you and the team. Earlier this month, your bus caught on fire on the way to Compton, and this week, a very tragic shooting on campus. How are you feeling, and how has your team been managing through these difficult circumstances?
First, our hearts are with Felicia Hudson's family and loved ones. Tragic incident, and that's been a big part of our week has been that. But the team is resilient. We talk to them all the time. They've got to be able to adjust. I'm really appreciative of what Pasadena City College was able to do to help us move the game here. And so our guys they've been through a lot. It's definitely not the normal path we take to a game, but I'm proud of how they handled it, and I think they're ready to go today.
I also heard today is your homecoming game. I know it's not ideal having your homecoming game on a field away from home, but today is still a very special occasion for not only the team but also the Corsair community. What are you looking forward to the most about today's game?
I'm looking forward to seeing the student athletes get a chance to compete and enjoy. This is a big part of their college life. They come, they spend a lot of time doing their classes and their academics, and they commit a lot of time and energy to preparing for football as their extracurricular activity. And some of them plan on taking it to a four-year college, and some of them plan on just playing it here while they get their AA degree. And so I'm just excited that they get a chance to go out and compete, and that Pasadena was gracious enough to host and get everything switched over so quickly.
And actually, something that surprises me is how closely in contact you junior college coaches are with each other. And being that you and Pasadena head coach Robert Tucker have been in close communication this week to make today's game possible, it not only shows the dedication and commitment both of you have for your teams, but also the support you have for each other as coaches. From your campus being shut down to moving your homecoming game here to Pasadena, all in the span of a week, can you tell us what happened behind the scenes to make this game possible?
A lot. There's a lot of people that did a lot, especially on our side. I can't even imagine what it took on the Pasadena side. I kind of can, but there a lot of people had to get moving that weren't planning to be here today, that had the day off. But for us, we had to recover a lot of new equipment after the bus fire. So, I mean, John in the mailroom he spent time in the facilities office this week collecting all the gear coming in off of FedEx trucks. Our finance people, David Deaver, a bunch of people that they spent a lot of time this week helping our student athletes when there were so many other things that were pressing and a need for our campus. And so it was truly a lot of work that a lot of people did to help us get here today.
Thank you so much for talking to us and being here, and can't wait to see everyone play ball.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. This is Iris Wang, who interviewed the head coach for Santa Monica today. So, Iris, what have you thought of today's game and the team overall?
Wait, is my mic on? Oh my God, it is on. Can you repeat your question?
My question was, what is your thoughts about today's game and this team overall?
Well, so far I think we're playing really well. I've been sitting in the director's chair for the first half, and I'm about to step down and give someone else, my offspring, a chance to direct. Actually, it's a very motherly moment. Mother bird, baby bird, push them off a cliff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I've been really enjoying this game. I've been cheering for my boys, and I've been screaming a lot of names left and right, which I've been really happy. I'm still learning a lot of players' names, but definitely as I've been coming to practice every single day, I've been learning more and more players' names. So it's been really exciting, just screaming people's names I never screamed before. But yeah, when I direct, I just get really excited.
Passionate?
Yeah, I get passionate too. And honestly, I think the other camera people get pretty annoyed about ear rape, unfortunately. But it was just a good time. I just love being out here on the field. I love being here in Robinson Stadium. Even if this game were being held at Santa Monica, I'd still be at the game anyway because I've been going to every single game home and away. I just really love this team, and there are definitely a lot of things that I do out of my love and passion for this team that I just wouldn't really do for any other people, really.
Yeah. So I believe it was 2 weeks ago, October 5th, the Chafee game. You were very emotional about that game. You did come on camera after the game and after the live stream.
I looked hungover. No, I looked drunk in that. No, I was just crying a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So what did that win mean for you?
Well, this isn't my first year working with the team. I've been working closely with the team since last year. I was with David interviewing players for packages and interviewing them in the studio, filming them on the field. So I've been with the team for quite a long while already, and definitely this year, my presence on the team has increased immensely. And so it's definitely gone to the point where I've been with them long enough where their wins feel like my wins as well. And I was there at the bowl game against Chafee last year, and I remember how emotional of a moment it was when we lost the bowl game, and how emotional all the players were. But I just feel like I've been with the team long enough to really feel their wins. And definitely October, it was on the 5th, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Chafee game on the 5th was definitely a huge win for us, and the team was really happy, and so I was just really happy. And I'm also hormonal. I was really hormonal that day.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
Yeah. So, looking into the future, there's most likely going to be a bowl game hosted here.
Mm-hmm.
So how excited would you say are you to, you take pictures obviously, and you direct the live stream, which you're really good at. But how excited and how emotional do you think you'll be if that bowl game comes here?
I don't know. I don't know what exactly we'd be doing that bowl game. I remember last year during the bowl game time, around that time, there were discussions of if it's going to be held here, which it wasn't, by the way, but if it were to be held here, who would be live streaming? Would it be a professional company, or would it be us? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but Lancer Studios, we are part of the TVR department here, television, radio, and everything we do here is pretty much student run. And we aren't professionals, but we're just students who are really passionate about what we do, and we're just continuously learning more about TV production, live productions. But yeah, there was talks about us live streaming it, but I guess but the bowl game wasn't here last year. It was ended up being at Chafee. But if the bowl game is here home this year, I don't know. I'd be down to live stream it, but I also kind of want to be down on the field too with the team, because it's just I love being on the sideline. It's just it's a different kind of excitement,
Yeah. So overall, would you say who are your favorite players on this team? You've been here for.
Don't clock me. Don't clock me like that. I feel like if I were to say, I get clocked.
Really?
Yeah, like.
Hmm.
Well, I'd say that I really like being around the running backs. They're so silly and goofy. They're so silly and goofy.
M&Ms.
Oh yeah, Eminem. What? Hi, Jimmy.
Yes, there's the professor who helps run this.
I really like the running backs. I think the running backs are probably my favorite section at practice. I do have like my favorite players on the field. Caden, Mo, Micah, Soto, Bautista. I love Idric and J-Rod, the devious twins. And I love taking photos of them too, especially when they're together. Honestly, like whenever I see them on the field together, like when we live stream, and if they're walking together, immediately the shot's on them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're just like, they're really cute puppies together. Like, you know, like they're like the devious twins.
Yes.
They're just a good duo. Yeah, I don't know. Like I am still learning players' names, but I definitely do have like my go-to players where I know like I'll get like good photos of them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a growing collection.
Yes, it's a growing
Yeah.
collection. So
Don't clock me, please.
I will. So let's say
Not you.
after your time here at PCC, will you still come back here and will you still take photos for this team that you have essentially for the last 2 years have just like been essentially a part of?
I didn't start taking photos until this year. Last year I was
This
just
year?
like recording players and interviewing them.
Ah.
I didn't start taking photos till this year, definitely, yeah. But it just depends where I transfer to. I plan on making this my last year at PCC, but definitely depending on where I transfer to, if I end up like staying in state or if I go to like USC or something like that, I might come back. But also I kind of don't want to live here. I've been told from like a lot of different people, like a lot of my professors and stuff, like, oh, like what do you plan on doing after PCC? And they're like, good, don't stay here. So no hate against PCC, it's just, moving on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
So it depends where I go to school. But if I go to school to like New York, I fear I can't make it back every Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be
Yeah.
long flights.
Too much money.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
it.
I'm broke.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's your favorite part about directing? You get to like essentially you're back there, you're calling the shots, you're in, David's ear, not mine, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're only in David's ear.
Oh. I guess David got used to me.
Yep.
No, I just love directing. I wouldn't say it's like the aspect of bossing people around, but I don't know, it's just like a natural calling where like I know what I want and I just get it, But I've been told from Jimmy that I should like go into like, becoming a producer or a production designer or production manager because I just have the organizational skills for that. But I was literally told the other day that I'm like the productive type of lazy, so I don't know. Where like I'm lazy, but yet I still get things done at the same time.
Yeah. That's a rare breed.
Really?
Yes.
Am I purebred?
Pretty much.
Did you know I love dogs?
Really, you like dogs?
Yeah. Yeah. Not the ones on your feet, but like arf arf,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Circling back to you interviewing
Mm-hmm.
players, how's that interview process like?
Well, now I feel like I have a bit more freedom to choose the players I want to interview because of, we've been doing this for like kind of a long time, me and David. But now it's just, I'm at practice every single day. I take note of like, players who pique my interest in terms of personality and how they play. Personally for me, how I choose the players I want to interview, it's not necessarily just about like the points they score or their stats, but it's also just who they are as a person. If they're a good person, they show good sportsmanship, their personality. Sometimes I interview people solo because that's how their personality shines the best, and sometimes I interview people as like a duo or like a bigger group because they can bounce off of each other. It's just when you it's kind of like a casting director when like you're able to like sense like casting chemistry when you like cast two different people, like you can sense it. So that's kind of how I feel. So I just scout and I look for any players who pique my interest, and then I ask them and we get the interview.
How long has it, like the interviews take? Like
we get them all done in a week. Like the week of a home game, which by the way, there's no package this week. I don't know if you can tell, but it's just because this game was added last minute, like at home. But typically, we plan kind of like a little bit in advance. We're like, oh, there's a home game coming up. Who should we interview? And then beginning of the week, we start recording them. And then by the end of the week, we bring them into the studio and we interview them in the studio. And then I take all the footage back home, and I have like 24 hours to edit everything together, and then I bring it back.
What's the longest you spent on one of those interview packages?
I don't know. Probably D-line last year. That was really stressful, actually. But after D-line's package, I kind of got a lot faster with like producing them, editing them. It became a lot easier for me, and I was like better able to like anticipate how I wanted these packages to be made. But definitely D-lines was the most stressful because for last season, that was kind of the most players we interviewed at once, and I just struggled with giving enough screen time to everyone. Like, I didn't want one player to get all the spotlight and then like have like the fourth player be like, 1 second, like I kind of wanted to like spread the spotlight evenly, which was like pretty hard. So definitely D-lines took the longest, and Jimmy made me cry that day too because of like it's too long, the package is too long. And then I just made the packages longer from there. Yeah. Also, I cannot hear Jimmy. Wait, is this talkback? I cannot hear Jimmy.
Yeah, I can hear.
There's a reason why David normally sits here.
I can hear.
Guys, next game.
We're gonna go to commercial break.
What? No, homecoming. I should be color commentator. Fine.
All right, we're gonna go to a commercial break, and then afterwards we're gonna look at some highlights.
I'm getting evicted.
All right, so we're back. We're going to take a look at some stats from the first half, some highlights, see how the Lancers, really did in this one. And, they're leading 26-3, and it's been a pretty good game, especially on the ground. So we'll take a look at some of these highlights. Here we see the first scoring play for the Lancers, rush up the middle from Micah Mendoza. That was his first and only touchdown of the game. Now here we see a big rush from the Corsairs, able to break that one out past midfield and then into Lancers territory, brought down at the 20. That was a big rush by Reynoso. Here, the only points on the board for the Corsairs.
Yeah, that's the field goal. That only 3 points they've gotten all game long. Here right now is Molly's great rushing touchdown, just bulldozing through a bunch of Corsairs. Here is the miffed extra point attempt. Right here is, I believe, is the sack by Julius Ray as Cruz is trying to get away. Here would be another, the keeper from Mascalono to just get some more yards and break into Corsair territory.
Now we got another touchdown, this time by Ma Lee, able to rush it up the middle. That was his second of the game. 3 of 4 touchdowns for the Lancers so far. Here is the next one. Flip Fox on a little flip play over to him, able to break it into the secondary. That was good for an 80-yard touchdown, his longest play and touchdown of the season, beating his previous of 79 was his farthest play of the season. So able to break his record by a yard.
A yard is a yard. Here is the halftime stats so far. The score is, of course, 26-3. Total yards, 286 for the Lancers, 107 for the Corsairs. 1 passing yard for the Corsairs and only 51 for the Lancers. 106 rushing yards for the Corsairs and 235 for the Lancers. Third down conversion. The Lancers only had 3 third down attempts. They've gotten 2 of them. The Corsairs have 9 of them, and they only got 4 of them. And the penalty yards, 4 penalties for 46 yards for the Corsairs, and the Lancers have 4 for 40. So far, you see the stark difference, especially in the passing game and the rushing game as well.
Yeah, really similar numbers in those penalty yards. But, I mean, the one thing that sticks out to you is the passing yards for the Corsairs. Only one passing yard, only, one completed pass. That was to Herrera. Probably would have had about 5, but we saw him cut back, and then he ended up being tackled. So only 1 net yard passing for the Corsairs. And, I mean, that's just kind of unbelievable, right? I mean, you look at what Cruz has done in his previous games, comes into this game, 718 passing yards on the season. Last game had over 200, at 234 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns. And that has just been completely lost on the Corsairs this game.
Yeah, the passing game, as you said earlier, they are kind of a pass-first team. They have more passing yards per game than rushing yards. But right now, I mean, I believe it was 106 or 107 to 1 passing yard. It kind of shows just how they're not able to just get to their playmakers and how they're going to have to just keep running the ball because of the no-fly zone that the Pasadena Lancers have.
So it'll be Mali and Fox back to return here for the Lancers. They're set to gain possession after kicking off to the Corsairs to start the game. And then after the fumble on the recovery, it was as if the Lancers had possession. And this one bounces behind Fox, able to corral it. Still on his feet, brought down just a bit past the 20-yard line. A little bit of miscommunication there. We saw both of the return men kind of step up, let it bounce over back behind their head, but it only really bounced at about the 15-yard line. Good job to corral it back in by Fox.
Yes, good. And there's actually a record. The fewest passing yards in the game since about 1996 was Michigan's 32 passing yards. So currently right now the Corsairs are on pace to be in the record books for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, not sure really what that record might be for community colleges, maybe a separate record, but nonetheless, only 1 yard. I mean, not doing too great. So it'll be Taylor to start the second half. They'll run it here to start this drive. Now on the ground to Mendoza.
Micah Mendoza.
Would be good for a small gain. And that'll bring up second down.
Good defense from Santa Monica just to not let any yards come about from the play. Really, I mean it's still a good bit, but not as much as the Lancers were kind of averaging that first half. So gain of 4. If they can just somehow make another stop, that'll be kind of big for their momentum.
Lancers scored 13 in the first quarter, 13 in the second quarter. This one again with Mendoza, rushes way towards that first down marker. We'll see where they mark this. Might have been a tad short. If so, that'll bring up third down.
I mean, these running backs, Mali and Mendoza, just put their head down and they will run through anybody. They are some of the hardest running backs to take down. And now third and short, you can expect Mendoza's going to get the ball and he's just going to run through.
Third and short here, 2 yards to be exact. Taylor finally gets the snap. You're right, though. Running with Mendoza, able to bounce out towards the middle of the field and dive for that extra yardage, and that's good for a Lancers first down.
It's good for a Lancers first down.
Wow. So try to run it up the gut, got stuffed, tries to go outside, and Taylor throwing the block, the quarterback throwing the block. You don't really see that a lot. But good job from Taylor just to, here's a replay of it. Taylor with the block on 51. Darnell Horton. So overall good. Good block right there from Taylor and just a good run by Mendoza.
So a fresh set of downs for the Lancers. They're just a bit behind the 35-yard line. Taylor wants to throw, fires towards the sideline. Just out of the reach of Jordan Rodriguez.
Wanted to get a quick throw off. It looked like the defensive line for the Corsairs just kind of made him feel a little bit uncomfortable, trying to throw a quick little out route to Rodriguez. And, man, a little bit overthrown, but overall, try to make a good decision.
Rodriguez hasn't caught a pass in this one. He's been targeted a couple of times, one of them resulting in a penalty. This one on the ground. That's going to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. He was met by a couple different Corsairs. With like Kalani Atwood.
The carry by number
Also number 57, Kennedy.
Yeah, good job. That's what we said. Second half adjustments. There's a replay of it. They need to just contain the run. And now with the 3rd and long, so now maybe the Corsairs can maybe get some momentum and swashbuckle their way back in this game.
I like that swashbuckle. Only 51 yards passing for the Lancers so far. 50 more than the Corsairs. Rolling out to his right, Taylor looking downfield. He's going to fire this one out of bounds. Couldn't quite find an open receiver.
Good decision to not take the sack, just throw it away. You're up by 23. You're up big, so just punt it away and let your defense do the rest. Good stop by Santa Monica. This is what they needed to do. What we said after the first half. Second half adjustments need to stop the Lancers, their running game, because they've been doing good against the passing game. Now they just need to get their offense rolling.
Kick is up for Pasadena. He'll let this one bounce. And it'll drop about at the 30-yard line, so pretty decent starting field position for the Corsairs here to open up their opening drive of the second half.
35-yard punt, no return.
Let's see what Santa Monica's going to do. They, of course, have ran the ball more than they've thrown, trying to stay away from the good corners. Idrick Carmichael, Elijah Lewis, safeties up top, Eli Moulton, and Dalen Beasley. But right now, you got to kind of, you have momentum now. You stopped the Lancers. They got 1 first down and got stopped. Now you have to put some points on the board. Even 3 is fine.
Reynoso on the game, 12 attempts, 87 yards, averaging 7.3 yards per attempt in this game. Had that long 55-yard rush that put them in excellent field position, resulted in the field goal. And this one not really going to go very far.
Good stop by the Lancers. You know, they're the front 4. Pulley, you know, good job stopping Reynoso, making sure they just can't go with the stretch, can't try to bounce it outside. So good job by this defense.
Only 1 sack so far coming from Julius Ray. We were talking before the game. I really thought they might get more, sacks in this game. Kind of a multitude of factors. Hungry defensive line. A team that I thought liked to throw the ball in this game. They haven't. Here they will. This one to Reynoso. And he'll get this one, looks like past the line to gain, so that's good for a first down.
It's a little bit of kind of like, I guess, sort of like a check down, just out of the backfield. And a good job from Reynoso to just get more yards, get the first down, keep the chains rolling. And I would like to add that we are over the 40-plus rushing attempts.
Oh, wow, already?
Yes. Before this half even started, we were over the 40-plus.
Wow. Set it downs at the 42.
This one on the ground. That one just going to get stuffed by that Pasadena line.
Reynoso on the carry. Once again on the tackle.
This defensive line has been really good, as you said before. Right now, Santa Monica needs to pull something else. Maybe a trick play, maybe just a reverse, something else instead of just trying to run the ball continuously.
Count. 2nd and 10. Clock running down. About to hit the 10-minute mark here. This one again on the ground. Strong rush, but not going to go very far. Got about 4 yards on that one.
And the tackle
Yeah,
by Bailey.
good job by Bailey. You see these linebackers just trying their best to just they're doing their best, and they are. They're achieving. They're stopping the run. They're getting the shoestring tackles just to keep it to 1, to 3, even a loss of a tackle, even no gain. So these linebackers are doing really well, along with that front 4.
And I mean, talk about the secondary, right? Only 1 pass allowed in the first half. That was to Herrera and only good for a gain of a yard. They've been really locked down so far today. Cruz trying to throw over the middle. And it looks like that'll be a second completion of the game. That one complete to Herrera again. So he's got 2. The only 2 of this game for the Corsairs.
A great job just to get open, tight throw. And now they're starting to get momentum. Now, all of a sudden, you get the stop on defense. You're kind of driving down the field on this defense. If you can come up with points, this would be huge for the Santa Monica team.
Read play here. He'll keep it with the back. It's not going to go anywhere. Gets disrupted. Looks like it might be a loss of a yard.
Looked like Ethan Bowser got in there, helped to just pull him down on the read option. It looked like either way that, as you see a replay of the catch, it looked like either way that this team would just, or that play was not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, and what a great tackle by Ethan Bowser. I mean, he's been great coming off the bench for, either Bailey, Pulley, or Brumfield, and he's just been a great option for them. Felt the pressure, got blown up as he threw, and there's a flag on the play, probably going to be a roughing the passer call.
Caden Bailey in with the pressure, pummeled Cruz. I don't know how that would be roughing the passer because he still had the ball.
Defense number 4, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, definitely close. Maybe could have been because that play was, up kind of towards the head. They were kind of standing level with each other.
Hopefully get a replay of that.
I mean, also just the sheer force that he hit Cruz with definitely kind of helps to sway the officials into calling a roughing the passer.
Yeah, I mean, Bailey is a strong guy, and he just absolutely threw Cruz like he was a rag doll.
Looks like Duncan jumped, but no flags. Cruz trying to throw, fires deep for the end zone. And that's going to be caught for the Corsairs touchdown. That one complete to Greer.
They got his playmaker involved. The Moulton didn't cover the top to help Lewis, so it was one-on-one coverage. Cruz saw that and he threw it up there, and now they put points on the board. It's 26-9 right now, and barring the extra point, so we'll see what's going to happen. This may, make it a 16-point game, which is still 2 possessions.
So if the kick is good, score will move to 10-26. There's a flag on the play.
False start, offense number 68.
So a false start, they'll move this one back.
Looks like that was on right guard Robert Lee on the false start. That's now twice a false start that's been called on the kicking team, and the last time this happened, there was a muffed snap and muffed hold.
Spot has been perfect, 13 for 13 on PATs. And he's got that one clean through the uprights. Score moves 10-26. Corsairs within 16 of the Lancers.
That is a big momentum boost for the Corsairs. Just trying to keep momentum, trying to stay in this game, as there's the replay of the touchdown from Greer, from Cruz to Greer.
Yeah, I mean, Cruz, you could tell he knew where he wanted to go that entire way. Looked down Greer, took a couple of steps back, immediately had that hitch, fired towards the end zone. I mean, that's pretty textbook. Couple steps back, he knew where he wanted to go with that one.
Yeah. And on the defensive side of the ball, I think if I was, trying to command the Lancers defense, I would double team Greer, but you could also put one of your stud linebackers to replace where the safety is. So if you want to put Molden to cover, or you want to put Beasley to cover, you could put Bailey, you could put Pulley, you could put Brumfield. You could probably put Bailey up there. You have your 2 speedy linebackers covering the middle of the field, and all of a sudden you have a double team on their best receiver.
Yeah.
Molly and Fox set to return for the Lancers.
We've got the homecoming football game coming up next week. That'll be Saturday, October 26th. That'll be against Pierce College here at Robinson Stadium. Bring your Lancer ID. Pregame starts at 5 p.m. There's going to be music, free food from the food trucks. All you need is that ID card. It's definitely going to be something you don't want to miss, as The kick is dropped here, but able to bring it out for a pretty good return. He's still on his feet, still fighting for extra yards, and he's down almost near midfield.
A miffed kickoff. We've seen that 3 times. We've seen just a miffed. We've seen miffs on either punts or kickoffs.
Tackled by number 19.
This time,
Naeem Powell.
it's, the first time that happened was a fumble. The second time, and here is the homecoming dance. Lancers, don't miss the homecoming dance next Thursday, October 24th at Crevelling Lounge from 7 to 10 p.m. This year's theme is Starry Night, so get ready for a stunning evening. We got a 360 glam photo bot, a live DJ, free food, games, and prizes. It's the perfect way to kick off homecoming week. So mark your calendars and join the
So
fun.
following the kick return, the 15-yard penalty, and the Lancers now have possession at the Santa Monica 38.
So a 15-yard penalty at the end of that one. And I mean, the Lancers just have excellent field possession here to start off this drive. Taylor's still the quarterback. Looks like Mendoza in behind him. This one to Mendoza on the ground. And he'll take it out for a sizable gain. Looks like about 5, maybe 6 yards.
This running game, they have the M&Ms, those sweet treats back there, just absolutely like bulldozing this team. They already have 230 plus rushing yards in about like 25 attempts or so. So overall, this running game has been very, very efficient.
They'll run it for a second time. Not going to get much of a gain there. That's going to bring up 3rd down.
Mendoza on the carry.
Going back to that homecoming game, that'll be next week here at Robinson Stadium. There's going to be free food and festivities before the game outside of the stadium. That starts at 5. Kickoff is at 6. There's also going to be free merch for Lancers students, free T-shirts. I've seen the T-shirts. They're pretty sweet. I also got a face painting station, foam fingers. I believe they're trying to get a student section going, so it should be a whole lot of fun. Takes the snap. This one's going to get blown up. Almost. Taylor still with the ball. And he's going to get met by a couple of defenders. Took a couple of hits there on the way down.
The keeper
Man,
by
what
Taylor,
a tough quarterback. Taylor, really tough. He took multiple shots. Did he get the first down? I don't know if they're signaling. The signaling is 4th down, and he's short. But man, as you see the replay, kept it kind of, like you say, got blown up a little bit. But overall, great job from Taylor just to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, got met behind the line of scrimmage. Was able to bounce off of a tackle. Just got swallowed up by 3 defenders. They'll keep it. Looks like Molly the back. Not much of a gain there, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 1 situation. We'll see what head coach Tucker does here.
By Muhammad Mali, and it's good for the Lancers.
Oh, good for a first down. I thought he was short.
I thought he was short too, but he put the shoulder down like he's done all year long. Just get those extra yards. Hopefully we can see a replay of it.
Yeah, and there's Mali. I mean, you really can't go wrong with either of these backs. Both of them so tough, so strong. It would just get that first down, fight for the yardage. Taylor motions Mali. They'll give it to him again. It's going to be brought down, looks like by Carson Cox, the linebacker.
On the carry, the tackles on the play by Kalani Atwood.
The Corsairs, they're really trying to just buckle down and not let the Lancers continue to run all over them as they did in the first half. 230 plus rushing yards in the first half. Not ideal.
The motion over the tight end. Taylor rolls out to his right. He's going to take off.
Come on, can you throw the ball?
Gets brought down, and he just got met by those 2 defenders in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he saw that, he thought he had nothing. He tried to just get positive yardage, because as long as you're getting positive yardage, you're making the downs shorter. It's still 3rd down, but it's better to have a 3rd and 4 than a 3rd and 6.
23.
Yeah, Taylor was on the bootleg, felt some pressure on the outside, tried to take it up the middle, got met by 2 defenders. We'll see what he does here. Motions Mendoza. 3rd and 5, he wants to throw, feels the pressure, steps up in the pocket, and gets taken down again.
That's multiple plays that just Taylor's just been hit from behind, taken down, and you know that's gonna eventually take a toll. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mascolino comes in as you see a replay.
Yeah, he's really been feeling the pressure on these last couple of plays, and that's something kind of uncharacteristic for this Lancers offensive line. They've been so great all season, only giving up 2 sacks throughout the season. And right there, you know, there was a couple of close calls right there where he really did field the defenders. They'll keep it on the ground. Mendoza, you got to think if he just beat that one defender, he could have gotten into the end zone.
Could have had a touchdown, and fly after the play. This may be an unnecessary roughness.
Maybe a personal foul.
Currently, there's been 11 penalties.
Mendoza got taken down on that play, that previous play by Logan Polk. The safety, kind of like a linebacker, like a strong safety. They use him down towards the line. They'll use him in coverage.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense number 97.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by number 97. That's Jordan Grant, the Aussie from Queensland, Australia.
From the land down under.
We'll take a look at this one more time, see. Oh, yeah, pretty blatant. Kind of, I'm not sure who he kind of rushed at, but gave him a shove. That was a pretty easy call for the refs there. Taylor going to hand it off to Mendoza, and he dives past the goal line for the Lancers touchdown.
Mendoza and Mali now both have 2 touchdowns each. It's been a sweet treat to watch the M&Ms go, and man, they are now just Santa Monica had the momentum. The Pirates or the Corsairs were riding the waves, and all of a sudden the Lancers just took it from under their feet, and now the momentum is back in their favor.
Yeah, and it was, you know, kind of the ground game the whole way through that drive. Try to throw it a couple times, you know, not really to much avail. Taylor kind of had to make do, scramble, and fight for some sort of yardage, but couldn't really come up with anything. And so they keep it on the ground, get some penalty calls that really help them out, and able to punch that one in.
Unfortunately, a missed PAT, the 3rd one of the day for the Lancers.
I mean, very uncharacteristic.
Here's a replay of that Mendoza touchdown. Do a bulldoze, little shiftiness, getting in there.
I mean, coming into this game, Rigby 8 for 8 on PATs, and Razzo 10 for 10. So uncharacteristic of them to miss these extra points. They also always end practice with field goals. I think the longest I've seen was, I think, 40 yards. They ended practice off with a field goal.
That's a good bit of yardage. If, for those of you who don't know, how you determine the distance of a field goal is wherever the line is, and you add 17 yards, because they go back 7 yards, and the field goal post is 10 yards in the back of the end zone. So that would mean that the Lancers got the ball to the 23-yard line.
Kick is up. They'll bring this one in, kind of return men stacked on top of each other. Looks like Herrera will take this one out of bounds at about the 20-yard line, maybe a little bit past.
This is now Santa Monica's time to respond. Another touchdown cuts the lead to, I believe, 15 points, which is now 2 possessions since the missed PAT. If the Lancers keep missing the PAT, all of a sudden it becomes, they're getting 6 and the Corsairs are getting 7. All of a sudden it's going to add up over time.
Return by Herrera.
We'll see what the Corsairs can do here. We saw them get more active with the passing game in their previous drive. We'll see if they try to go for that again. Keep it on the ground here. Reynoso tries to tunnel his way through. He's going to get a gain of about a yard.
The carry by Reynoso.
The Corsairs need to start using what's been working. The running game, besides the one or two big runs that they've had, they really haven't done anything. So you got to keep passing. But the thing with passing is if they pass and there's like a guy there, they could easily get picked off or batted down or like a tip drill interception. So that's the risk you run when you want to pass.
Reynoso, 17 attempts, 91 yards, getting close to that 100-yard mark. Looking to throw here. Cruz fires down one, able to complete it to Reynoso. He's going to get brought down after a short gain. Thought for a second he might have dropped that, though a bit off target, able to haul it in.
A bit down and low. Just great job by Reynoso just to pick it and just try to make something out of nothing.
Two minutes, 16 seconds left here in the third quarter. A little bit of a personnel change here for the Lancers. Lancers line up with 4 on the line. Those linebackers playing pretty low. Flag on the play. They weren't going to send them.
Looks like it'll be a delay of game.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. Bring third down.
The 8th penalty accepted for Santa Monica. That's 13 penalties overall.
Yeah, again, another sort of stat that's been uncharacteristic for these Lancers themselves. They have 5 penalties. They've been so good with the penalties. Just today kind of, getting a little bit away from them. 5, a little bit more than usual for them. Reynoso, the lone back. You're going to whistle this play dead again. 2 plays in a row.
Timeout. Santa Monica.
Santa Monica's going to take a time out here.
Once again, a reminder, next week, the Lancers at home.
This game has so far really come down to, I think it's the turnover that's making this game a lot wider than what it is. That first, the kickoff, the muffed kickoff, and then the fumble. That is playing a factor, but also the fact that this defense is just like a stone wall. I mean, I keep making the comparison, but so far it's true. It's like a stone wall. Like they try to just you can't go around it because it's like essentially the Great Wall of China. You can't really break through with it unless you have like everybody just try to break through. But even still, it's still very difficult to break through this defense.
Yeah, they've been playing great, all night. Lancers have been able to limit the run. I mean, Reynoso almost up to 100 yards rushing, which sounds like a lot, but I mean, almost on 20 attempts. I mean, they've been doing a great job of, stuffing the run and limiting, especially that pass. Cruz maybe trying to get an offside call here. Looks towards his sideline. Brumfield and Pulley both lined up low. They're both going to go. He's going to fire over. That one's complete, but only for a gain of about a yard or 2. That's going to bring up 4th down.
Man, he got swallowed up by about like 3 or 4 Lancer defenders. The Lancers just going in there striking, and the blitz. They don't really blitz that often because they have the 4 defensive linemen are so good, but they decided to bring a little blitz, little pressure against the pass, and right there it kind of wet down the favor that the receiver just got bulldozed.
Yeah, that pass was complete to Bryson Wood, the tight end from Great Oak High School, a freshman. That was his first catch of the season. This one up. Rodriguez will haul it in. He's out past midfield, makes a spin, still on his feet. Finally brought down after a pretty good gain. And Lancers have pretty excellent starting field position on this drive.
Yeah, great job from the Lancers, from Rodriguez just to catch the ball, all of a sudden make a little bit of moves, little spin, just trying to get more yardage. And now they're almost in field goal position again.
Rodriguez hasn't picked up a catch so far in this one. He's been targeted a couple times. Really going to want to see Mascalino get the ball to him. He's been such a great playmaker for them all season. Second on the team in receptions, just behind Flip Fox. Rodriguez has got 11 on the season.
Start possession at the Santa Monica 33.
You can see him lined up there on the inside of Greg Moore, the outside receiver. Mascalino going to keep it on the ground. That one's going to get blown up. Not much of a gain there. That one was Mali.
And the tackle
Again, this
Jonathan Joseph.
this Corsair defense is trying their best to just stop the run, get the ball back, and just try to score to make this game a little bit more competitive. Because like a 17-32 game, that's about like 15 points. That's still 2 possessions. If they could just get within 2 possessions, they can maybe try and just try something else to keep this game close.
So that's going to bring an end to the third quarter. The score 32-10. Both teams picking up some points here.
Overall, this has been, a good game for both teams. Santa Monica, really trying to, against the number 1 team in their division, trying to put up a fight. And so far, the scoreboard may not seem like they've been putting up a fight, but overall, they kind of really have been putting up a fight. They've been really trying to stop the run of the Lancers. They've been trying to stop the pass. They've been trying to do stuff on offense. Unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out in their favor.
Yeah, so we'll flip field position here as the Lancers come back out for this drive. 2nd and 10 now. Mascalino, the quarterback. Mascalino will line up with Mali, the back, and a tight end on his right. Still awaiting a ref's whistle to get started here.
Could be a halfback wham when you motion the tight end to help block.
Mascalino takes the snap, but not before a flag comes in.
Ball start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Remains second out.
Martinez, the center, moved a little bit early. That's his second call of the game for jumping off sides for the snap.
Going back 5 yards, hard enough to gain 5 yards, but now, or like 10 yards, but now trying to gain, 15 in 4 downs. Very unfortunate. That's the 6th penalty of the game. So far, total, Lions have had 30 penalties. A 5th of them have come in this game alone.
Mascalino motions the back. He's going to keep it himself, looking to throw, rolling out to his right, surveys the field. He's going to keep it himself, able to get back to maybe the line of scrimmage there. That's going to bring up 2nd and 15.
Yeah, you're deep in your territory. You got to get some momentum. You can't let Santa Monica essentially now have more momentum, coming out of the half. And this is what I was talking about, this team kind of being cold. And, they have stretches where, they can be so dominant like they were in the first half, but then you have, these stretches where it's kind of cold. Even against Chaffee, they were kind of cold in that game in the second half as well.
3rd and 18 for the Lancers.
These Lancers have been so potent to open up games, and we've kind of seen a little bit of a trend of slowing down towards the end as Mascalino feels the pressure, throws this one away. Could have been a sack there. Not going to be an intentional grounding. I believe he was outside of the pocket.
Yeah, and also Mali was there to maybe try to receive it. So now it's going to be a punt, and now Santa Monica, if they go down and score a touchdown, it's now a 17-32 ball game.
Yeah, Mascalino really felt the pressure there. Not much he can do. Uncharacteristic of this offensive line to give up so many pressures, especially when they've been doing well all season, especially against tougher opponents. I mean, the Santa Monica team comes into this game only a couple of sacks, only 5 on the season. This one will roll into the end zone for a touchback.
Rolls into the end zone for a touchback.
Now I feel the Lancers, you have to kind of worry about, is this game going to start slipping out of your hands? You know, this game could be kind of classified as a trap game, you know, a game where an opponent overlooks, you know, an opponent who seems like they're better, and they just kind of overlook their opponent, and all of a sudden the opponent comes out and surprises them. This Santa Monica team is the same team that Chaffee beat 54-7. So right now, the fact they're trying to get a little bit of momentum, hopefully it's not looming for bad signs for this Lancers team. Hopefully the defense can maybe step up.
Pasadena. Next, we're going to have LA Pierce here. That's the homecoming game, as we mentioned. November 2nd, they're away at LA Southwest. Another away game November 9th against Glendale. They'll finish off the season November 16th here against Los Angeles Valley College, another conference rival. LA Valley currently sitting at 6th, just behind Santa Monica in the American Pacific. Cruz looking to throw deep down the field. Couldn't really get anything there.
Slightly overthrown. Dominic Grant on the coverage. And this is what I was saying. Cruz is going to try to throw to Greer. And you need to double cover him. So if that means to have to pull Bailey back, Caden Bailey back, then do it. You just cannot allow big plays, especially in a game. Even though they're down big, they're down by 22 points, a big play can really help spark a team.
There's excellent coverage by Grand, and this one up the middle. Reynoso's got himself a first down and then some. Great run from Reynoso.
The passing game opens up the running game. They were kind of a little scared of getting beat deep. Now all of a sudden, Reynoso could just run through and in. And now this running game is starting to pick up, and this Santa Monica team is kind of firing on all cylinders right now.
1st and 10 now. Lined up, similar formation. Kind of got a trip situation happening on the right. Got 2 receivers and a tight end. Looks like Woods, as well as a receiver lined up on the other side. That one just out of reach of the intended receiver. I believe it was Woods. Sorry, Wood.
Cruz's pass intended for
Yeah,
number 87.
it looked like maybe a run. It looked like Wood was going to try to block it, then all of a sudden it just got by. And if just the throw, if Cruz can settle down a little bit and make a more accurate throw, Wood could have held that in and maybe gotten some more yards.
Back up to the line. Different formation this time, got the receivers spread out. This one, a run up the middle. That's good for a gain of 8.
They're going back to the ground game. They came into this game thinking the ground game was going to be the way that they were going to be able to hang in here with the Lancers, and so far the Corsairs are trying to use the run game to try to open up the passing game and maybe get back in this game a little bit.
Reynoso still the back. Like we mentioned, gets so much load from this Santa Monica offense. 3rd and 3. And he's going to get met at the line of scrimmage by that defensive front of the Lancers. Wow, what a run stop there.
That is a big stop. That was Jason Ridley in there just to swallow up the run. Got a tackle for lost 3 yards. They can't go for it. All right, I believe that it is 4th down.
It is 4th down. It'll be 4th and 6 after the loss of 3. Looks like they're going to punt here. And man, what a clutch stop by Ridley.
Yeah, if Rioso just could get to 3rd down, some of this game keeps going. We're in the 4th quarter, so this game could maybe have gone a little bit out of hand right there.
Rodriguez and Carmichael back to return. Looks like Rodriguez will fair catch. Bring this one in.
Fair catch by Rodriguez.
11 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here in this one. 32-10. Lancers currently with the lead.
46-yard punt, no return.
Good stop by the defense. You know, kind of cutting the momentum short. Now, all of a sudden, the Lancers can now just milk this clock. You know, another like 5, maybe 6, even 7-minute offensive drive, but just put this game at around like anywhere from like 6 to like 4 minutes, and all of a sudden the comeback is looking very, very unlikely.
Temperature at 81 degrees currently.
Lancers
Things have
start
gone up a
possession
degree
at the 15.
since we've started, about 80 at the beginning of the game. We're used to temperature kind of dropping. So this one's a run, not going to get much there.
The carry by Mohammed Mali.
Mali and this team is just going to try to just milk this clock, because
Johan
if they can somehow milk all 11 minutes of this clock, that'd be phenomenal. They could just milk it and they'll breeze by it, but it's going to take like multiple third down conversions if you really want to milk 11 minutes of clock. So I'm thinking most likely either 5 minutes, most likely around 5 minutes.
Mascalino still to complete a pass. Again, they're going to keep it on the ground. That's going to bring up third down after the 2nd and 8. Mascalino 0 for 1. But, I mean, they've just been getting it done with the run game.
Yeah, they've had really no real reason to pass. And, I mean, they have like 100. No, they have like 50. Like 51 passing yards at half. And now, they're not really going to pass. They're just going to keep running, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, 51 yards passing after the half. Still 51 yards. Haven't completed anything in this second half. Mascalino looking to throw down the sideline. Oh, did he catch that? No. Drops out of his hands. Thought for a second he might have had that.
It was a good ball, good attempt, just really good coverage. And if he would have called, he had that ball in his hands. Really good attempt to catch that ball.
Yeah, I mean, Flip Fox just has such great, ball tracking skills. We'll take a look at this. Over the head of his defender, just popped out on the contact with the ground.
Also with the defender on the bottom, defender's helmet also could have made that catch. Also very much unlikely.
Punt is up, bounces at about midfield. And it'll roll at about 41-yard line.
Yeah, that ball took a Lancer bounce. Could have gone backwards and put them into Lancer territory, or it could have rolled forward, put in the Corsairs in, their own territory. But thankfully for the Lancers, it rolled in their favor. That's the second time today that a punt has rolled in their favor.
So the Lancer defense back out there.
I think what the Corsairs are going to do is they're going to try, all hands on deck, try to just throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, I mean, in a game like this, when you're down by a couple of possessions, definitely going to want to get the ball downfield as quickly as you can. They'll keep it on the ground. This one not going to be too much of a gain, about 4 yards.
The carry.
This team is still, even though the second half they have allowed some big runs, the Lancer defense is still just overall been like a stonewall. Again, they've just been stopping the run really effectively.
Looks like Drobny in for Reynoso at the running back position, giving him a break, I suppose. Reynoso, 20 attempts, 110 yards. Had that longest of 55. They'll keep it on the ground with Drobny. Looks like he's going to get stopped shy of the line to gain. And that's going to bring up a big third down.
Very close to, moving the chains, but thankfully a good stop by the Lancers team. The defense just really good at just making the last couple yards the hardest to get. We saw in the Chafee game, 4th and 2. Those 2 yards were the hardest 2 yards that Chafee were going to get all game, and they didn't get it.
Drobny, the lone back. Herrera motions over. Cruz going to give it to the back. Drobny makes a man miss. He's into the secondary and finally gets brought down.
There is a
after
flag.
gaining the
Penalty on the
first
flag.
down, but like you mentioned, yes, there is a flag on the play.
That might be on, I believe it might be number 9 for, it looks on Greer for maybe holding on the play.
Holding. Offense number 9.
Yeah, you got it.
10-yard penalty from the spot of the flag.
10-yard penalty. That's going to be a big penalty after they got that first down. This is going to take it back. Ball at midfield. Looks like a 3rd and 1 situation here.
With a 1-yard carry, there was a 10-yard penalty, and that brings the ball to midfield.
Still,
So after what would have been about an 11-yard carry, gets taken all the way back, turns into a gain of
3rd
1
and
yard.
1 for the Corsairs.
3rd and 1, Greer motions over opposite side of the field. They're going to give it to the back. Similar play. This one's going to be close. Met by a multitude of Lancers. We'll see where they mark this one. Believe he might have maybe just fought for that yardage.
Dropped
Yeah.
on the carry.
after just getting put, after not getting yards,
Tackles on the play.
he tried to make
by
something happen. He
Dominic
might have
Grant,
gotten it,
along with number 95,
and the chains
Jesus
will be
Carlos.
moved.
Yeah, so a tough run from Drobny, who, we haven't seen much of. I mean, this Corsairs offense doesn't,
The run was good
use
for
a ton. They
Corsairs
primarily
first
use
down at the
Reynoso,
49.
giving him a break. That snap a bit low. Cruz firing for the sideline and picked off with one hand by Isaiah Blades. He's taking this one back.
The interception.
He's at the 30, the 20, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds at the 10-yard line. What a play from Blades, just with one hand to go up and snag that.
Shiver me timbers! Holy cow! Holy Toledo! Isaiah Blades, almost near pick 6, cuts deep,
74-yard interception return.
one-handed
Isaiah
interception.
We're going to have to take a look at this. I mean, what a play just to reach up with a single hand and snag that out of the air, especially after these Corsairs have been making such pushes on this drive, gaining so much momentum. I mean, that just takes the wind out of the sails of these Corsairs.
Yep, and all of a sudden their ship's blowing in the wrong direction. I mean, hopefully we could see a replay of that great interception. One hand, going back to your DB comment earlier, how about DBs or whatever receivers you can't catch. Isaiah Blades just proved everyone wrong right there. One-handed catch with a great return.
Number 18, Satani Sugu Taraga.
Susuga Taranga in now. This one they'll keep on the ground. Able to push that for a gain of about a yard, maybe 2. Taking a look at this one more
The
time.
carry by number 3, John Batista. Tackle on the play by number 88, Dominique.
Here we go. Here's the replay. And
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9 from the 15.
This was the previous rush before. That was good for the first down. I mean, the Lancers with just excellent field position here. 2nd and 9. Lancers have been so effective in the red zone this entire season. That one on the ground. Coming into this game, 90% red zone percentage. So 90% of the time when they're in the red zone, they're coming away with points, either 3 from a field goal or a touchdown.
Batista on
yeah, red zone efficiency, key for any team, as there's the replay of the interception. One-handed and a great return. Man, what a play.
Yeah, I mean, Blades has been great, especially, coming off of the bench. He's such a physical back. We've seen him make such great tackles, and there, I mean, you see the ball skills, and, I mean, what a play. This one on the ground. Won't get the first down, so that'll bring up 4th. Lancers going to send out the field goal unit.
Rigby's going out there to kick
by Logan Polk,
a
Carson Cox.
field goal from about the 11-yard line, so it's going to be about like a 29-yard field goal, if I do my math correctly. No, it's about like 28 yards field goal, 28-yard field goal.
Saw earlier in the game, I believe it was a PAT. I mean, they've had a multitude of problems on the PATs today. We had a muffed hold. Josh Soto back out there. Gets a clean hold. This one through the uprights and good for the 3 points for the Lancers.
A 28-yard field goal by number 1.
Now
Oslo
it's
Rigby. On the hold,
35 to
15,
10.
Josh Soto.
A 25-point game. It is now a 4-possession lead. And right now, the Lancers have just pushed the Corsairs on the plank right now. They're making them walk the plank.
35 to 10, Corsairs set to get this ball again after the quick possession and field goal from the Lancers. Getting 3 points off of that insane Isaiah Blades highlight play interception.
What a play that was.
And I mean, it just speaks to the depth that, you know, the Lancers have here, especially in the secondary and this defensive back position. I mean, starting guys usually see Idric Carmichael and Elijah Lewis on the corners, but you got guys like Jameer Allen and Isaiah Blades, and, you know, even guys like Ivan Can who can come into the game and, you know, give you production. Can himself also has an interception. That was Blades' first interception of the season. He has a breakup on the season. And even that safety, right? We usually see Eli Moulton, number 3, and Dalen Beasley come in to start, but you got guys like Asay and Grand that can come in and, you know, disrupt plays. Kick is up for the Lancers. Waves for a fair catch. He'll let it bounce into the end zone.
Kickoff is good for a touchback.
And that's a touchback for the Lancers.
Very lucky he did not catch that. Otherwise, you'd be pinned within your own 2-yard line, within the 5. All of a sudden, you're looking at safety territory.
We're going to take a look at interception one more time. Wow, I mean, that's phenomenal. That's, you know, Odell Beckham Jr. like that famous play, able to just reach his hand out there and come down with that. That's pretty impressive. And to stay on his feet. And, I mean, he took it for a ride, too. Got it pretty close towards the 10-yard line.
Yeah, what a play. One-handed, too. I think that's the most impressive part of it all. It's just he did it with one hand.
I mean, might have my vote for maybe play of the year so far. This one on the ground. That's good for a gain of about 4 yards. That'll bring up about a 2nd and 6 for the Corsairs. I mean, and after that, the momentum has to be at an all-time low for this Corsairs team.
Yes, you were driving down the field, you were doing good, you take a shot deep, and all of a sudden, you throw an interception, which was a phenomenal play by Blades. And all of a sudden, it's just like, okay, well, we just gave up the ball, and now they're within the 20. And you just feel so deflated after that.
Looks like they'll give Blades a rest. Looks like Jaden Campbell in for him at cornerback. That's number 10 on the bottom of your screen. This one over the middle. Oh, and nearly caught with one hand and nearly intercepted by the Lancers. Now, and just hitting the ground before it can get picked off. Almost picked off by number 23 of the Lancers, Ivan Can. He already has one interception on the season. That would have been his second.
The Corsairs are not playing really. They're trying to make these tight throws. They're kind of walking on a tightrope right now. And it backfired once already. So if they keep trying to play at this, it's probably going to backfire again.
That pass was intended for Herrera. Look like a seam route over the middle. Got a hand on it, nearly brought it in with one. Just couldn't really hang on to it. Cruz looking to throw. Has a man complete. That's Wood. That's good for the first down. And he's brought down. Looks like about 3 or 4 yards past the line.
Cruz's pass is completed.
Good, screenplay. We see the Lancers do that all the time. And just a good job of he had to come into the ball and making the move just to run. Got good blocks from his wideouts. Overall, good screenplay. There's a replay of it.
Yeah, great job by Wood. Came into this game without a catch. He has a couple today, both coming in the second half. Cruz will give it to the back, and that's good for a first down up the middle. Corsairs maybe trying to, manufacture some steam here, trying to get going. I mean, it's going to be pretty tough to come back. 10-35, just under 4 minutes to go here.
Even if they do not come back to win this game, at least scoring points hopefully will give them momentum for their next game that they have to play. You know, their next game is going to be LA Southwest. So maybe that'll help them, maybe propel them to the third win of the season.
That'll be an away game. That'll be at 1 p.m. in LA Southwest. Screen pass over to Greer, able to make a man miss. And he's busting this one down towards the sideline and just out of bounds. Did a good job of making a man miss. That's good for a first down for the Corsairs. So, yeah, a little bit of momentum for the Corsairs. Maybe just a little bit, too little, too late.
Yeah, I think if maybe they try to use these screenplays maybe more towards the beginning of the game to try to stay in it, maybe this game wouldn't be as, how it is right now. But even right now, they're seeing what works. Maybe we're going to try to experiment, see what plays will work. And so far, the screenplays have worked really well for this team.
Yeah, and this is probably the Santa Monica that I think we kind of expected to see in the beginning of the game, right? A team that likes to throw the ball, a team that's going to primarily throw the ball, and that's just not what we saw today. Primarily keeping it on the ground as they do here. Nearly brought down behind the line of scrimmage, and finally they're going to get to him.
Great job by Drobny to just not go down immediately, just to maybe fight, even if he doesn't get any yards. If it's a no gain, it's better than a loss.
A loss of 2 brings up a second.
Drobny already 12 touches in this game so far. That's higher than his season total coming into the game. He only had 7 rushing attempts previous to today. Seeing him being utilized a lot more by the Santa Monica offense. They've decided to sit Reynoso. Looking to throw. Cruz is going to fire towards the end zone. Not going to come down with it. That one tipped by the defender.
Ivan Kane. Great defense right there. Going to the guy that has been it all game, as you see on the replay. Great coverage.
Yeah, great coverage. Way to get his hand in there and disrupt the ball. And, I mean, like I talked about earlier, I mean, we've been seeing great things from this Pasadena defensive back core in this depth.
Having depth at especially the secondary is really helpful, because guys will get tired, and if you have someone who could go in and give you the same production, that's so valuable to a team.
Going to keep it on the ground after the incompletion. And that should bring up a 4th down. We'll see what they do here. 2-minute timeout late in this game. I mean, you got to expect them to go for it, right?
Yeah, you kind of really have to go for it. You're so close to just, maybe just getting a little bit more momentum. 2-minute warning timeout has happened. So right now you get a little bit of chance to just calm down, breathe, and see what you're going to run. You can maybe just run it up the gut again, or you can maybe try to bounce it to the outside. Who knows?
Drobny came into this game with 37 yards on the season. He's already got 38 so far tonight.
Doubling his total. That's great job from Drobny. Coming in, this game kind of did get out of hand kind of quickly, but came in and doing a good, decent job. 2.9 average yards per carry. But overall, having to come in against a tough Lancers team, especially against the run, great job from him.
This definitely is a formidable Lancers squad. Had a great season last year, only lost, once in the regular season to Chaffee, and then in that bowl game to Chaffee. We saw them beat Chaffee on the 5th. It just feels like a lot of returning players. This is a team that has sort of elevated since last season, and bringing back so many guys that know how Coach Tucker likes to operate and know the playbook. They've really elevated from last year.
Yes, they have.
4th and 12 now. They're going to go for it. Drobny still the running back. Lancers maybe showing blitz.
Maybe a disguise as well.
Lancers send the linebackers. This one in the air and snagged for the touchdown. Corsairs put points on the board here late. That was complete to Herrera. Might just be too late.
Yeah, great catch and great throw. You don't expect a run, and then all of a sudden he drops back to pass.
to Maurice Herrera.
And now it's 16-35, barring the extra point, and maybe we can even see an onside to maybe try to spark this team again once more.
Only a minute and 51 remain here.
Point,
I mean, what a great grab from Herrera, able to snatch that away from the defender and stumble his way into the end zone. Kick is blocked. This one's going to get picked up, fumbled by the Lancers. They need to pick it up. He will, but he's taken out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. So some drama on the kick.
Yeah, blocked. Unfortunate. Lancers, this is the second week in a row they've blocked an extra point kick. 2 weeks ago at Chaffee, and now, or 2 weeks ago here against Chaffee, and now Santa Monica.
The Lancers 35, Santa Monica
So
16.
now it's, I believe it's a 19-point game. It's 3 possessions. Here's the replay of the touchdown. Great throw, great catch. But now it's most likely just going to be a center kickoff. Lancers just going to either run the ball or kneel it. Who knows? But unless they go for the onside, this game is heading to its conclusion.
Yeah, assuming they're probably going to try to run out the clock here. Interesting to see who they throw in, personnel-wise, especially at quarterback. We saw Suga Taranga get in on the last drive. Score now 35-16. I mean, that was an impressive catch by Herrera. It definitely feels like that's something that we thought we would see a lot more of.
Yeah, and this game decided to take the running approach, just a ground and pound, try to get something going. Unfortunately, didn't happen. But if they had thrown the entire game, maybe this game would be singing a different fairy tale.
They'll kick it on the ground, trying for an onside. Looks like the Lancers will take control of the ball, able to corral it in at the 40.
The short kickoff.
Fun fact about this game, barring one more rushing attempt from a running back, this game, total rushes, I'm not counting quarterback, when they scramble out of the pocket, 69 rushing attempts for the running backs. That's barring any quarterback. So it's 70 plus, with the quarterback, sometimes they have a read option. So it's been over 70 rushes in this game.
Yeah, it's been a whole lot of ground and pound from both sides today. I mean, the Lancers have been running the ball incredibly well. 2 touchdowns from both of their running backs, from Mendoza and Mali. We also saw a touchdown from Flip Fox. That was an 80-yard sort of little sweep play.
Lancers start
Yep,
possession
and
at the 39.
5 out of their 6 scoring was a touchdown. They missed 3 extra points, but they got the 3 points back in the field goal.
So it is Suga Taraga out. They'll keep it on the ground. Able to make a man miss, stiff arms one, and takes it out of bounds.
The 70th run play for a running back.
That was Devin Groves, the running back
Devin Groves.
for the Lancers.
Tackle on the play.
Like you said, a whole lot of ground and pound.
Brandon Mahoney.
Man,
Gain of 8,
what a
second and
rushing
2 from the
display
47.
here. Just a bunch of just ground pound, go, go, go.
Yeah, and he got a little bit tripped up there. You got to think if he maybe stays a little bit more, balanced on his feet, maybe could have bounced that one out for at least the first down. They'll give it to him again, this time the other side. Looks like he got the line to gain, so a first down here. 1:30 remain in this one. Looks like the Lancers just trying to run home with this one.
Yep, and emphasis on the running, because that's really what they did today. They ran the ball, like you said, and yeah, they did really run away with this game.
Ball is at midfield.
Figuratively and literally.
Definitely have to give your credit to the Santa Monica team, everything that they've been through with their bus and their equipment and the unfortunate events that transpired on their campus on Monday. Just shows the strength in their character to, be here and get this game scheduled. I know Coach Ducker spoke highly of head coach Ledwith and getting this game scheduled.
Yeah, props to both coaches. Both teams for just willing to,
Carry by Groves.
face the
Tackle by
obstacles
Cox.
in front of them and just get this gameplay, as you said.
40 seconds now remain. Second down.
Loss of 3.
Lost 3 yards there, so 2nd and 13. Clock at 30 as things wind down here. Tuataraga will take a knee.
And that should end it. Time will wind down as the play clock has more time than the time in regulation. And the Corsairs meet Davy Jones.
So that'll end things here from Pasadena. Lancers going to close this one out as the clock strikes 0, 35-16 here for these Lancers.
And the final score,
did a great job on both sides of the ball. Defense, especially that rushing offense. Any notables?
Any notables on the defense? I will say Isaiah Blades, that pick six, that almost near pick six, the great play. You also had, Brumfield, Bailey, Pulley, Ray.
Next week,
you had, I believe it was Mitchell as well. Like, just the front guys that are in there in the trenches.
In a 6 p.m. kickoff.
Just had a great game. How about you? What has stood out to you about the defense?
Today, not about the defense, but the offense. The rushing game was especially strong, but I think there's maybe a couple of questions, regarding that passing offense. Didn't really get a whole lot done. Under 100 passing yards. After the first quarter, only 50. They got it done with the the running game for sure. We saw that 80-yard play to Flip Fox, but I think definitely maybe there needs to be something addressed with that passing game, especially taking it into next week against Pierce.
Yeah, I'm just double checking. The Lancers have 51 yards of passing offense. The Santa Monica had 118. They had double the passing offense of the Lancers.
And that all came in the second half, right? They finished the first half with only 1 passing yard.
Yep.
And to get 118 by the end of the game. And the Lancers finished the first half with 51, so they didn't get any net gains passing after, the first half, which I think maybe is a little bit of a raise for concern there. But they'll get the dub either way. 35-16, not super close. Pretty great showing defensively. Pretty great showing with the rushing game. Interesting to see how they take things into next week.
Yeah, you're saying about the passing game. I guess this week they didn't really need the passing game, but it won't always be, you could ground and pound. You got to make something happen. And, Flip Fox, is great. But you also have, Rodriguez and Barron and Phillips and Soto and more. You have your tight end units. You have, even Lopez and Stewart. Just got to get more of those guys incorporated in the game.
Here we see the Lancers doing their Lancer Jacks for the home crowd. Always a tradition after a home win. Hopefully we get to see that again next week. Homecoming game against LA Pierce game starts at 6 p.m. Festivities start at 5 before the game.
Yeah, it's hopefully going to be another great game. Hopefully another Lancers win, as we are their home broadcast.
I believe we're getting an interview with Muhammad Mali, as well as maybe head coach Robert Tucker down on the field. We'll see if we can cut to that soon. While we wait, let's talk a bit more about this team. So, what do you want to see next week against LA Pierce?
What I want to see next week against LA Pierce is I think they have to have at least over 100 yards passing. Santa Monica did, they had 100 yards passing in one half. We had half of that. The Lancers had half of that in a full game, in a full 4 quarters play. They need to throw the ball more. And I understand, Coach Tucker, ground and pound, control the controllables, you control more on the ground. But in the end, if you're down in a game and you can't pass, or you're not experienced enough in passing, that's going to come back to bite you, because you can't always be leading in games. Like with the Chafee game, the reason they were able to, ground and pound so much is because they were either tied or ahead. And if you can't really ground and pound from behind unless you know that the run defense is not going to be able to stop you.
And, I mean, is there any, raise for concern, especially with the end of this game? We saw the Corsairs gain so many yards passing, but we know that they took some starters out, put in some, depth guys. They had some good showings. We saw Blades with that interception. But is there any concern about, those yards and that touchdown late in this game for you?
For me, I think the fact that the front four, granted, they were most likely very tired, but the fact that the front four couldn't really generate any pressure. I mean, they were starting to run the ball. The linebackers were still in, and they were running the ball really better than they were in the first half. So that does raise concerns. The fact that the linebackers were in, and I believe that the edges were the same. The fact that they were able to run the ball because your 2 D tackles were out is a raise for concern. I don't think the secondary is much of a concern because, again, you had the depth guys in there, so it's going to be, growing pains. But definitely the rushing is a raise of concern.
Yeah, I mean, this defense for the Lancers coming into this game has allowed more passing yards, than rushing yards, on average in games. So it was definitely interesting to see that.
Yeah, and in this game they allowed like 163 rushing yards, 118 passing yards, as we previously stated. So, yeah, I mean, under 300 total yards of offense. But, man, like, the end of that game, if it wasn't for that Blades interception, this game most likely would have been 32-23.
And I believe we're going to flip things to our reporter Mariana. She's here with Mo Mali to talk to him about the game's events.
Hi, I am Mariana. Can you hear me?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Hi, I am Mariana Cardenas. I am with Mohammad. Mohammad, with 45 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, what was your mindset going into today's game that helped you succeed on the field?
My mindset was just like start some practice, that was Tuesdays and Wednesday practices, and then just finishing it off on Thursday and perfecting it. Come out and ball out.
Your 2 touchdowns were key in today's game. What adjustments did you and the offense make to stay effective throughout the match?
The Santa Monica team, they like to load the box. They had 7 players in the box, so we just added another puller or 2 in some of our plays and just got some push and made plays happen.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi. I'll hear your questions.
We're good. We can just go.
Okay. Hi, we are with the coach Tucker. Your special teams with Diego Caldera's 46-yard punt played an important role today. How do you assess their performance?
Yeah, I think special teams in general is very important. I was very impressed with the kickoff team starting off with the turnover on the very first kickoff. I think that was that was really important for us. Yeah. Even our punt return game, I thought it was really good. We were able to get some return yards and punt decently today, and just really proud of those guys. Special teams is everything for us, and we practice it a lot.
Coach Tucker, after a challenging game with some key defensive plays, how did you adapt the team's strategy to maintain control?
Well, I think it all goes back to stopping the run. I thought we did a good job of that. But, we gave up 2 touchdowns in the second half, and that's something we got to work on. And it's just more technique and eyes, awareness of the situation. And so we just got to get a little bit better at that. But proud of the guys that we stopped the run. They got some rushing yards. It was on one big play, and it's probably more on me than it was the guys on the call. We had a max coverage called, and they decided running the ball. So it was a good call by their coach and got us caught in a coverage. So, but really proud of how we stopped the run today.
Is there any other player that you are proud of?
No, I'm just really proud of the whole defense. And, the offense, I felt like, man, they did such a good job, especially in that first half, of just controlling the clock and keeping the defense off the field. We went 30 plays in the first half, so I thought they did a really good job with that. Just proud of the whole team, and offensively, defensively, even specialists did a heck of a job. So, anytime I guess we're 6-0 now, that's a team effort, and so I'm really proud of these guys. And our challenge now is just going 1-0 every week. We can't look out in front of us. We just got to really stay focused and win each day, win each practice, and win each game.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Go Lancers.
Go Lancers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So thank you guys for joining us from the whole crew here at Lancer Studios. I've been David Matamoros, joined by Oscar Zayas. We thank you guys for watching as the Lancers pick up a win here. And we'll see you guys next week against Pierce College. That'll be here, not at 1 o'clock, but at 6 o'clock p.m. the game will start. And so for David Matamoros and Oscar Zayas, thank you guys for watching. Go Lancers.
Go Lancers.